Hey everybody, this is Tara Platt and I play Katarina on League of Legends, and you're listening to The Gaming Outsider.
Hey there, Gaming Outsiders. This past week, Nintendo had a ton of reveals at their February Direct, so we're going to take a deep dive into what was shown. In other news, Witcher 3 got some unintended nudity in its latest version. You'll also hear CB's impressions of Hogwarts Legacy, Zack's thoughts on a Ninja Gaiden meets cyberpunk game called Wanted Dead, and finally, Rel stops by to talk to us about a 2D roguelike called Dig Deep in Galaxies, and David talks about a relaxing puzzle game called SokoChess White. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. It is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday to be precise, February 12th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, a guy who's not a big fan of the Super Bowl, Mr. Zach Parkerson.
Well, yeah, the Lions never went, so I just had to give up on football years ago.
Yeah,
they can't even get to the playoffs.
Not for a while, no. They had a good run there for a minute where I thought they were going to be good, but no.
Like 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
also joining us, Mr. Chris Behrensmeyer. What's up, man?
Hey, I'm here. I'm excited for Super Bowl because TV ads.
Yeah, it's funny. Most people just watch it for the ads, but apparently there's supposed to be a Flash trailer dropped at the Super Bowl. I don't know if you've seen the poster.
Well, boy, watch
I was
me not be excited.
I was at a test screening for a Flash trailer months ago, so it's old news to me.
I wonder if it'll be the same one. That'll be interesting to find out.
It's funny that I stopped watching the ads when they started doing the bringing old actors back as characters they used to be.
Mm-hmm.
That stuff annoys the hell out of me, so I had to stop.
Why?
What a terrible way! It's just a weird, because as you called me last week, an anti-capitalist. It just feels like a weird way to treat the art.
I see.
You can or especially like when Lawrence Fishburne was Morpheus for a commercial. I'm like, so you can get him back for this, but you can't get a movie together.
They did eventually.
Well,
but not without him.
Yeah, I know. I always wonder why they didn't.
It's just weird. Or Breaking Bad. Like the way Breaking Bad ended. Oh, what a perfect piece of art. And then they're like, well, let's roll it out for a Pop Chips commercial. Just weird to me.
I did see that one, and I thought it was funny, but I've never looked at it that way, Zach. You kind of make me look at it in a different light.
Yeah, you don't have to agree with me, but I'm happy that you're looking at it, from a new, fresh perspective.
I'll still enjoy it, but also I want to give a shout out to Mr. Nick Brown, who is a dedicated listener of the show. A while back, Zach, you remember you reviewed Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for us?
I'm aware. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to play it for a long time, and that copy wound up in the hands of some winners, and our community has started this thing where the games that we give away, they in turn give them back to somebody else in the community and pass them around. It wound up in the hands of Nick Brown, and he contacted me and said, do you know anybody else that I can send this to kind of keep it going? And I was like, I'd like to play it. So he sent it to me, and thankfully he did not put any Chicago Bears stickers all over it like he really wanted to. He's a big Bears fan, but
that would be now that would be fun if everyone just put their football team sticker on the case.
We just have the thing covered in stickers by the time it goes around. But anyway, so thank you to Nick Brown. I'm going to be playing that in the near future and then passing it on to somebody else. Already got somebody lined up, and they're planning to pass it on to somebody else. So I just kind of love that we do this as a community. Like we give away these games and then just keep shipping them off to everybody.
And they
making the post office money, apparently.
No obligation. Okay.
Absolutely. The game is yours. If you guys win a game, it's yours. You do what you want. But if you'd like to be a part of it, that's okay too. But
if I won a PS5 copy of Dead Space in a drawing, I wouldn't be sending it off. No way.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, I gave away 5 copies of Video Game Fables this week. I don't know if you saw that on the socials. The developer had posted that he was hitting up on some hard times and discounted his game as a way to try to generate some money and ask people to spread the word. So I was like, I'm going to buy 5 copies for everybody. So I took a while to do the drawing, and by the time I did the drawing, the price went back up to the normal price. So I gifted 5 full price copies of the game. But
you're a man of your word, though. Yeah,
I'm not gonna back down. But hope everybody won those games. I don't have the list in front of me. I know Edwin Smith was one of them. So congratulations to those guys. I hope you enjoy that game. It's a cute, quirky little JRPG, and good luck to the developer. But we got some games to talk about that we've been catching up on. Zach, how is Red Dead Redemption 2 going?
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to only weigh in when I actually have something to say. So I officially caught up to where I was originally.
Oh, okay.
You know, and I got to that big city area. It's basically New Orleans.
Mhm.
And yeah, I was wrong, guys. This game's awesome. What was I thinking back then?
I
I don't
apparently
know.
I'm gonna have to give this another try. Is what you're saying?
You just gotta acknowledge it's a slow pace, but once it gets going, there's so many human moments that goes on, and when you first get to the big city, even this time, I was like, man, this is really uncomfortable and kind of annoying. But guess what? Arthur is uncomfortable and annoyed the whole damn time. So I think that might be the point.
So yeah, I need to get back into that apparently and try it. Sounds like I've been missing out.
I mean, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it for weeks. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I don't see you go 180 on a game very often. I kind of like that.
It is
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, especially hard pivot. I remember being very excited for Red Dead 2 before it came out. So it's also
me too.
removed from any kind of pressure of trying to keep up with the conversation, as it were. So maybe that's helping it.
I think that ruins it a lot of times. Like like if you're playing it right at release, especially if you have to get through it quickly or you feel pressured to get through it quickly, and now you're playing it at your own pace
Yeah,
as much as you want to, and that's
I think it helps.
For me, despite the judgment from Zach, I picked up Metroid Prime on
That's right.
Nintendo Switch.
I'm a judgy guy.
Judge all you want, Mr. Anti-Capitalism.
That's right. That's right.
No, it is awesome to be back in the Metroid Prime universe again. I know it's the same game, but I am digging it. It's been so long since I've played it. I feel like I'm relearning the map all over again, so that's great.
It's not the same game. You got dual stick controls now, right?
Right. Dual stick controls. I still feel like the controls are still a little weird. I don't know why. Like I know that there's a lot of settings that you can change some of the layout, and I haven't messed with that a whole lot. But there's a lot of things going on in that game that I forgot about. Like how to use the grapple beam, and missiles are in a weird spot, it feels like. I'm so used to the old Metroid games where you just press a button to switch two missiles. This one actually has a dedicated missile button. Which I don't remember how the original game worked, but
we'll have to dig it out.
That does not sound right. Yeah.
It doesn't sound right.
I'm pretty sure you had to select missile.
I feel like that's just like a Metroid staple, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's cool.
But it's great. The game looks a lot better than I remember. You know how like when we talk about games look like how you remember them looking when you originally played them?
Right.
I remember the original Metroid Prime not looking good when I played it. Like it
on the GameCube, really?
Yeah, I just remember thinking. I mean, it was the first time we saw Samus in 3D. You know what I mean? And I was geeking out over like that's a Scree in 3D. Like that was a really cool moment, but it still looked pretty muddy to me. This one looks outstanding. I didn't realize some of the detail that they put in the original game. Even like I noticed that when you first land on, I think the planet's name is Talon 4. It's raining, and there's rain dripping off of her arm cannon. And if you look up, the rain actually like drips backwards, and then if you look down,
that's cool.
It drips the other way. Just little things like that. Apparently, that was in the original. I don't remember it, but I don't know if the detail was there enough.
A couple bad pixels moving one way or the other.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but and it still does the deal like where if you get hit or something, you kind of see Samus's face reflected in the visor.
Yeah.
That was just enormously cool when it happened. I mean, obviously we know Samus is a woman at this point, but
well, we definitely
it's just like a fun reminder.
They put her in skin tight jumpsuits every chance they get.
Well, yeah, that's true. But I'm digging it. Like I said, like relearning the map, like some of the open areas are very familiar because you go back to them so many times. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this, and I know there's a thing up here, but I can't get to it yet because I don't have the thing. But I'm looking forward to playing that some more because that's so much fun. It's just even like the music gets me back, like that opening title screen. I'm obviously not going to sing it, but it does this like scratchy alien kind of noise before the music kicks in, and then it just looks like this alien, like the inside of a Metroid almost, like right there on the screen. And I don't know, just the sound of the doors opening and everything just sounds awesome. I'm just digging it.
Playing off that nostalgia, man.
Hey, I like it.
If it was one download with all 3 games remastered for $120, would you buy it?
Probably not, because I did not like Metroid Prime 2 as much.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I just asked.
Metroid Prime 2 was a slog. I don't. You've never played any of them,
Right.
And I say that not to scare you away from playing it, because I do want you to play it just to see if I'm right or not. Because I feel the same way about Metroid Prime that I do about Majora's Mask, and that I felt like it was too long in the tooth, and it just didn't. It detracted from the original in a way that I didn't like as much.
So it'll probably be my favorite one.
That's what I'm saying. I think it might be your favorite one. So,
Gotcha.
I am looking forward to you playing it though, because you've never played it.
Yeah.
And doing a break the seal.
I can feel my resolve weakening a little bit just because it is finally a chance to play it. But I got a birthday coming up, so maybe a copy of Metroid Prime will come my way.
Well, if you can get a physical copy, that would be a miracle, it seems.
Yeah, because selling out.
Yeah.
I feel like, Nintendo, they got to do small production runs on purpose, right?
Yeah,
Of course
they do.
Yeah, to make
Yeah.
everyone think that they care.
It works.
Yeah.
God, what was it? That stupid Super Mario All Stars. Oh yeah, we're only going to make it from this day to this day.
Well, that one was weird because you could find after the cutoff day in like April or May or whatever, I could find it at Target for like $20.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was the rare case of it not working, I guess.
I did get the collector's edition of Tears of the Kingdom, the new Zelda game coming out. I happened to be online at the right spot, and apparently people are not happy about not being able to get a hold of that, so I lucked out.
It didn't look super compelling compared to the Breath of the Wild one.
Yeah, the Master Sword Edition one or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool.
But I have to have it. I also got a regular copy. I mean, we're going to talk about this when we talk about Nintendo, but with them raising the price of Tears of the Kingdom up to $70, as soon as that news dropped, I immediately went to Amazon and got a copy for $60 before they changed the price. So,
nice.
Yeah. So that'll be my play copy. But even digitally, it's $70. So
that's like paying $70 for a PS3 game in 2023
because they know you're going to pay it.
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah. Well, and Nintendo's awesome because they're such a quiet company that they'll never have to address this controversy publicly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was inevitable. As soon as one company did it, it's just going to become the norm, right?
I didn't expect it for a console. I did not expect it from a console with PS3 level technology inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I forgot. Nintendo gonna Nintendo.
I also started playing this game Trophy again. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about it. It is it's an NES game, like a new NES game that I played originally on PC. And the developer developer and publisher of Netscape, which is, if you remember that escape room game I played a while back.
Of course.
They contacted me and they said, hey, do you want a copy of Trophy on Switch? And I actually was like, well, I already reviewed it. Here's the review. I'm not going to ask for one. They said, it's all right. We're going to send you one anyway. So I started playing Trophy again, and that game is great. It's a Metroid. Excuse me. It's a Mega Man clone. However, they've done, as much as I like the game, they've taken away one of the fun elements of Mega Man, where like you fight a boss and get their power and then use that on other bosses. Like you don't get any other weapons. You just have. So imagine playing like a Mega Man game, but all you have is your Mega Buster, like for everything, which is interesting. The platforming is really great though, and the bosses have patterns that are very easy to memorize and get through. And it's now on Switch, and I think it's coming to Xbox as well too. It's like $10. So if you were a fan of old school 2D Mega Man games, this should be right up your alley. It's pretty great. There's 8 stages. You can take them in any order. They're all goofily themed. I think one of them is like a clown theme, which is interesting to see. I feel like there's a circus themed Mega Man stage back in the day, but this one is very focused on clowns for some reason. So, and also I took a dive into some of the GBA and Game Boy games that are now available on Nintendo Switch Online. I went back and played Super Mario Land 2. Is that the Golden Coin?
6 golden coins.
Oh, I love
Legend
that game.
of the 6 Golden. Yeah, it's a lot better than Super Mario Land. I feel like Super Mario Land was very weak. This one's a lot better, but it's still a Game Boy game. So it's taken a step back in terms of the super tight Mario controls that you're used to on other stuff. It's
still a good game.
Oh, it's still a good game. It's a lot shorter than I remember.
Yeah.
Like I beat the there's 6 like worlds or whatever, and that world only has like 3 levels to get to the boss, and that's it. But that was also the first introduction of Wario, if I'm remembering correctly. Isn't that where he was introduced?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because he's the final boss. What else did I try? I didn't play it, but I have my eye on Minish Cap, which I feel is one of the most underrated Zelda games ever, and I feel like hardly anybody's played it. So
I don't. Are there underrated Zelda games?
I mean, underrated in terms of, like, if you ask somebody, "Hey, have you played Minish Cap?" Most of them say, "Oh no, I haven't played that one."
That breaks my heart to hear.
It's such a good game. It's so good.
It's phenomenal.
That's not the one with the map. That was that where you could draw on the map. Which one was that?
Phantom Hourglass.
Phantom Hourglass. I liked that game, but I didn't love it. You could you could draw a path for the boomerang or whatever.
Yeah,
and you had to use that to solve puzzles.
That and Spirit Tracks are so hard to get through with the stylus.
Yeah. I did it, and those are ones they probably could never port, right? Because they require the touchscreen. Or I guess
they can do it to
the
Switch.
touchscreen is on the Switch. Yeah.
I know.
So
I gotta play Link Between Worlds, the only Zelda game I haven't played.
Only one you've never played.
Yeah.
I hope they bring the. I
mean, I'm not counting those stupid Musou spin-offs, I guess.
Well, those were not even made by Nintendo. Yeah. You're talking about the CDI Philips games?
No, I was talking about the Hyrule Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah. I played one of those. They're fun, but I don't understand playing that. It just feels very repetitive to play that for like 100 hours, which I know some people did. It's just nuts to me.
Yeah, no way.
But
yeah, I've played every real Zelda game except for Link Between Worlds because I never had a 3DS.
That's another one that should be ported over because that one doesn't need to be in 3D. Like there was not really needed. So anyway, that's what I've been catching up on. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. Some new trailers to start things off. First off, Hot Wheels Rift Rally, which comes out on March 14th. It's not technically a video game, but I got a press release on it, so I'm talking about it. A game called Hell of an Office. It is a speedrunning type game on PC, early access March 14th. And the remake for System Shock got a new trailer. That is coming on in March, so next month. As far as other news, CD Projekt Red is removing some, quote, unintended nudity in The Witcher 3's next-gen upgrade. A creative director has left Ubisoft after 17 years, and Yacht Club is letting you bash your ex in a Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon Valentine's Day event. I'm not going to say news was light because that's what our whole topic is on, but it was kind of hard to find some interesting things. But CB, you've been gone the longest. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's talk about this Yacht Club thing for a second.
Really? That's what you want to talk about?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Mostly because I'm like, in this day and age,
seems dangerous, right?
Wokeness. That's a bold choice, Cotton.
I was definitely surprised to see such a thing in 2023.
Yeah.
I'm
like, and I'm honestly amazed that there hasn't been more like flack at this.
I am too. I haven't heard anybody speak negatively about it. I kind of thought there would be. I mean,
well, if you come down on it, now you're robbing women's ability to get revenge on their ex-boyfriends.
Well, I don't think it was geared towards women bashing on boyfriends. I think it was both ways, right?
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the usual suspects who would write these kinds of articles kind of can't because it could ruin things they usually talk about. We
should probably explain what we're talking about. So if you guys remember Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, I reviewed it months and months ago. It's a puzzle game, kind of like Wario's Woods, so to speak. But you're fighting these little enemies on the screen, and they've given you the option to submit to a Google form where you can put your ex's first name, only first name. They actually said if you put a first and last name, it's going to be removed, like straight up, or if you put anything offensive in there. And then they will put that person's name on the character that you were fighting against, and you get to bash them, or you get to, take them out, so to speak. It's only like a limited run type of deal. It's only going to be here for the week, or like for Valentine's Day. I just thought it was kind of funny, but like you guys, I'm surprised that nobody's really crapping on it. It's a
funny idea, but when you bring, I'm like, so you're promoting killing your ex?
Well, I mean, it's.
Now that you're sitting there thinking about it, I'm like,
you're bashing them. Totally different.
Yeah, sure.
They're promoting domestic violence, and that's great.
Yeah, that's again like why
it feels like a reach just to call it promoting domestic violence. I mean, it's like these things blink out of existence. It's not like you see X's over their eyes even or anything
I've
like
seen
that. It's
bigger things made over smaller things.
Yeah,
Like
I know
Cliff
what you mean.
Lips.
Yeah, remember that story?
Yeah. But like Zach said, like you're promoting domestic violence. I'm like, wow.
Well,
Like,
I'm surprised that article hasn't been written.
I am too.
By the way,
Especially
that
on,
site you're talking about is getting worse.
Huh?
Like the stories that come out of that site. I'm not going to say the name of the site, but
I would be happy to.
no, don't.
I won't. But this site just wrote an article about how The Last of Us's apocalypse is too bleak.
It's an apocalypse.
Yep. Yeah. So that I think they are. That is such an obvious, desperate for engagement article because it's so far afield. It doesn't even make sense for the genre to write something like that.
Right.
Right. Obviously, you just want people up in arms about it.
CB, you had a point. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. But like, of all days, Valentine's Day on top of that too.
I mean, that's why they did it. Because there's a lot of lonely people on Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: like when it comes to days that we in my field, days that we see certain like rise and trends of things like domestic violence, suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the days, man.
It sounds like CB wants to write the article condemning this.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like I'm still surprised.
You know, we do have a website, CB, thegamingoutsider.com. You can write a lot
yeah, but
6 editorials a year.
For our website, like I feel that's even a little too risque.
Oh, okay. Then you could just go with like a review for Freshly Frosted or 35 millimeter.
Or you could show up and we could play some games for Patreon episodes.
I would love to hear you on a spoiler cast.
Yeah, like a I don't know, maybe a God of War Ragnarok spoiler cast.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
It's been remember Scott and I talked earlier. It's been a bad couple weeks, man.
Yeah, there's some real behind the scenes sausage making here.
Yeah, how many hours of Hogwarts did you get?
You don't want to know.
Oh, there it is.
Hog leg. Anyway, yeah, I think this is great. I think it's funny.
I'm shocked that you like this story.
I think it's funny. I wish they would have. They should have named it like Kmart, Hallmark, K Jewelers. Those should be the name of the villains for Valentine's Day.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, all these people who invented this holiday and trapped all of us.
It is a stupid holiday.
Everybody knows the pain of your partner saying, "No, I don't want to do anything," and then the day comes, you're like, "Oh, thank God we're on the same page." And then they're all miffed the entire day. You're like, "What's going on?" They're like, "You didn't give me anything." Whoa, I thought we agreed.
Yep.
Yep.
We've
all been there.
My wife and I don't care about Valentine's Day. My mom was like, "What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day?" Not a thing. Nothing.
That and Sweetest Day. Remember when they invented like a second Valentine's Day?
That's so dumb.
No, I don't remember that.
Yes.
Sweetest Day?
No.
It's like another like made up holiday. They just threw in like halfway through the year.
It's a day for your mistress.
Not mistress days.
No, it's who you're sweetest on.
Oh, wow. You just made it really dark.
I like that.
A lot darker.
That's good.
Anyway, Zach, what story would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about this unintended nudity. You know, I'm a pervert.
This story is so weird.
CD Projekt Red has to remove some Witcher nudity, which is funny coming from The Witcher. Because I guess the new version has some realistic-looking genitalia of the lady parts. Because most game characters have the whole, the angel Barbie doll thing.
Yeah,
no bits.
The angel thing. Are you referencing Dogma right now?
I am referencing Dogma. Yes, 100%.
Anatomically correct as a Ken doll.
Yep. They said it was some mods that they left in, which is weird. That seems weird.
How do you accidentally leave mods in? Like, isn't that like?
Because wouldn't you have to you would have to insert the mods into your source code when you're porting it, right?
You would think. Like, why would you put that in the source? I don't know. I don't know how development works. But
I don't know how many people remember this, but there's a part in The Witcher 2 where Triss is getting tortured and her clothes are torn, and you can manipulate the camera. You can see her vagine.
Oh, really?
So this is not the first time that there has been vagine. And The Witcher also reminds me of, do you remember Dead Island when they had a full one of the female characters wears a skirt, and it when she was getting knocked down, it was just you could just straight up see her vagina, and they had to patch it.
I did not know that.
Yeah, dude, what an amazing time to be alive.
Why are people upset though? I mean, it's not like nudity is a brand new thing in video games. It's like people were complaining that it was too realistic looking.
Because here's the thing.
It's a mature rated game.
How often do you come across the downstairs bits in video games?
Not often, but I mean, I think the one of the only times I remember was Dante's Inferno.
I was gonna say it's usually penis. Grand Theft Auto has some penises. Red Dead has some penises. Yeah. Penises are not uncommon, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess a vagina is a bridge too far.
I mean, they're in Europe.
Fast forward through this section if you have a kid listening, I guess.
Yeah.
Just anatomically, they're just words.
They're not dirty words either. It's just
apparently they are to somebody.
That's kind of my thing. It's like I'm not upset that they're being removed because I don't really care. I'm
not going to touch that one.
If I was 13, I would care.
No, the fact that Scott's not upset that they're being removed.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, man, like apparently my brain is so far in the gutter right now.
Apparently.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Moving on.
I just don't understand why people are upset. Like it's just like if you don't want your kid to see it, don't let them play the game. It's rated M for a reason. I mean, like I feel like there's a group of people that would praise them for the level of detail that they put into this or something like I don't know.
You say like the level of detail. Can you just imagine the one guy that's got to sit there and like code all that out?
Hey man,
he's airbrush a little here. Yeah. Looks right.
I feel like we're veering more and more puritanical again, right?
We kind of are.
What do you mean?
It's just in the discourse, it feels like when like 90s conservatives were trying to blame video games for like death and violence and stuff.
That conversation has never ended. Because every time something comes up, people bring it up.
But nobody takes them seriously.
Well, after Jack Ryan got disbarred, that kind of went away for a while.
Once the Supreme Court decided that they were protected art, the argument is useless now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel it's interesting to watch as things shift. The people who I would have assumed previously would be all for this kind of thing now seem to be against it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting shift to watch happen in real time.
The needle moves back and forth every
so it's
election season.
A European company is removing this.
That's what I was saying earlier. In Europe, nudity is not like a big deal at all. Like, don't they have like nudity on like
broadcast
regular
TV
commercials? Yeah, like
yeah. I remember downloading orange juice commercials from Europe when I was a teenager.
Happy juice.
Yeah.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. Okay, so last story is going to be me. A creative director from Ubisoft has left. His name is Jean Gudon. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I don't know my French very well. Gudon?
Jean Gudon.
Let's say yes. Yeah. I don't know how you're asking us.
Well, I mean, CB claims to be, worldly. Knows what's going on.
Speak a little French.
Oh, well, I guess I stand corrected. He is worldly.
Anyway, this guy joined the company back in 2005. He actually started working on the original Assassin's Creed. That's how long he's been around. And he eventually wound up being the creative director on Black Flag and Origins. No real word as to why he's leaving or where he's going. However, he did mention in his LinkedIn profile that he's been working on a, quote, previously undisclosed project. So that's, of course, sparking all kinds of speculation, like what's going on over at Ubisoft. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say Far Cry 7 or another Assassin's Creed game. Like,
going independent.
I feel like Ubisoft is not doing anything new. They are purely
they just canceled 4 games.
Right.
Yeah, so I would assume he was making one of those 4 games. There's no way they're canceling Far Cry 7, though.
No. I'm talking about like anything that's not an established property.
Have they
I just
canceled
kind of assume.
Beyond Good and Evil yet?
Not officially. That was supposed to be last year, according to my predictions.
Right. I'm pretty sure it was canceled as soon as Michelle Ancel left, but no official cancellation.
God, yeah. That's just going to be the infinite vaporware.
On a positive note, it sounds like this is something that he wanted to do, and he made a statement that was very positive. It wasn't like there were any bad terms or anything, but he said, "Hello, everyone. 2023 will start for me with the end of a bit more than 17 formidable years at Ubisoft Montreal. I can't express how much I owe to this unique company. So many people met, so many skills learned, and so many projects shipped. And Assassin's Creed, of course, Assassin's Creed. Thank you, Yubi, very, very much. So, I don't know. I just kind of like seeing these stories where somebody leaves and it's on a positive note. I don't know if he's retiring or if he's
It feels more
moving
like
on to
it's
something
going
else.
independent.
I mean, I'm all for it. Like, with everything that he's done, I mean, he was a creative director. I don't know how much coding he did, but I'm all for somebody going independent, starting something new, that could get us excited, because apparently Ubisoft's not going to do any new franchises anymore.
Ubisoft is. When was the last time Ubisoft had a positive news story?
I know everything's been negative. Either stuff's getting shut down or controversy or scandals, and I'm tired of everything. Why does everything got to go to crap?
Launching games at weird times.
Yeah, that too.
They're the new EA.
Remember when EA was like the most hated company, and then it shifted to Activision a little bit, and I still feel like Activision Blizzard is still probably number one, but yeah, a lot of that's going towards Ubisoft. So, well, there you have it. Going to move on and talk very quickly about Patreon. If you guys are out there listening to the show, would like to help support the Gaming Outsider, we have a Patreon page where you can do so. We've got different tiers, and different tiers will get you different rewards. A $1 tier will get you the episode in a day or a day and a half early. A $3 tier will get you a bonus episode each month, and a $5 tier will get you 2 bonus episodes each month. And one of those episodes I've been doing a spoiler cast for the Last of Us HBO series with my friends over at the Hollywood Outsider. Those are coming out. That's been a lot of fun. And also more recently, we've got a beginner's guide to D&D with Kevin, and lots more on the horizon. Really looking forward to getting that going. But if you'd like to help us out, the website is patreon.com/thegocast. Again, patreon.com/thegocast. With that, we're going to jump into the new games that we've been playing. All right, Zach, what's new on the horizon that we can check out next week?
Well, February continues. Tales of Symphonia Remastered comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch February 17th. Hey, that's my birthday. The Settlers...
just in case anybody had a spare copy of Metroid Prime laying around.
Right, yeah. It'd be funny, I get like 6 copies. The Settlers New Allies comes to PC February 17th. Wild Hearts, an EA-published Japanese game, comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC February 17th. Aka R has a cool trailer, lost arcade game to history.
Mm-hmm.
Comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC February 21st. FPS out of Russia that I'm sure will be totally free of controversy. Atomic Heart comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC February 21st. Like a Dragon Ishin, the Yakuza game set in feudal Japan, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC February 21st. Digimon World Next Order lets you hang out with some Digimon on Switch and PC February 22nd. The PSVR 2 finally comes out with a lineup of over 25 games on February 22nd. I did not feel like listing all those out. But it is worth noting Res Infinite and Tetris Effect Connected are getting ported to PS5 VR-free versions on February 22nd as well. The Light Brigade VR game comes to PSVR 2, PSVR 1, which is remarkable. Quest and PC February 22nd. Grimdark Fantasy Tactics game, I think this looks pretty good. Redemption Reapers comes to PS4, Switch, and PC February 22nd. First-person game Remoteness comes to Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One February 22nd. If you're mad at the Super Bowl, why not check out the Blood Bowl 3 on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC February 23rd. Company of Heroes 3. Dude, I remember Company of Heroes being a big deal when it came out. It was all over G4, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Comes to PC February 23rd. And then Grim Guardians Demon Purge comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC February 23rd. CB, what game are you excited about from this list?
Pretty much the only one that really trips my trigger is Atomic Heart.
Isn't it amazing that so many games can come out and it's just like, yeah, one looks okay.
Yeah.
I would be excited for the PSVR 2, but I canceled my pre-order.
Did you?
Wow. Good for you,
I'm
man.
shocked.
I have a feeling I'm going to be able to pick one up on the secondhand market fairly cheap, fairly quickly.
That's actually a really good plan. Really good plan.
Shocking.
You just really want my prediction to come true. for this year's prediction episode, because if you remember, my prediction was that the PSVR 2 was going to flop hard.
Well, I mean, you do know that they already cut production of them by like more than a third.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
the price is nuts. Right?
Dude, it's too much.
It is a lot easier to get a PS5 right now, so that helps a little bit. But still, if you don't have a PS5, you gotta get a PS5 and a PS4. I mean, you're looking at like what, $1,500? Did we figure?
Yeah,
just to get in to play some games that you could play on your original PlayStation VR.
Yeah, I don't want to spend that kind of money on just the headset right now, especially when I have a headset that's just as good and doesn't require wires.
Exactly, that's the thing. If you want to check out VR, why would you get the one where you have to buy a console and then another $550 headset?
And be wired
and be wired to break the immersion.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense.
No, no.
I am with CB though on Atomic Heart. I've had my eye on that one for a while. Controversy
aside,
be darned. I'm so tired of like, we got to boycott this game and that game. I'm tired of it. And it's on Game Pass, so it's not like I'm paying anything extra for it. So
no, it's just it's funny where we draw the lines. That's all. I don't care either. By the way, I don't care that it was made in Russia.
Is that the whole controversy? Is that it's made in a country? I mean, it's not like that developer is making those decisions for Putin. You know what I mean? Like, is that all it is?
Well, but if you buy it, then their money goes to the Russian tax system. It goes to Putin. It goes to the war effort, etc. So if you're buying, if you're buying the game, you're technically supporting Russian war. You know
how much stuff we buy that's probably imported from Russia.
To be clear, I am with you. I think it is a stupid thing. It's just it's just funny to watch these things. You have to ignore so many realities. Like it's like Hogwarts Legacy. You just have to. That controversy doesn't make any sense either.
I legitimately think a game can't come out anymore without some form of controversy being attached to it.
Well, it's also just no offense to anything. It's weird that Hogwarts Legacy is getting jumped on more when technically your money is going to trickle back down to a war if you buy Atomic Heart, but if you buy Hogwarts Legacy, all it does is it makes the angry lady on Twitter have a little more money that she'll never notice she has anyway.
Right.
So it's just weird. It's weird that people are more upset about that one to me.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just like, those people are also all tweeting from iPhones made with Chinese child labor.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's old man Zack's soapbox. I think Redemption Reapers looks awesome. This little fantasy RPG. Although, dude, there is something really appealing about Atomic Heart.
It just looks slick, doesn't it? And I just feel like we're seeing enemy types that I've just not seen before.
It gives me the freshness from when you saw BioShock the first time. Those kind of vibes. Yeah,
that's a really good way to say it. Man, I wish I could go back and play BioShock for the first time.
Sure, hell yeah.
Like, never have played it before, especially after I listened to that psychology book on BioShock I listened to. Yeah, just made me really want to get back in.
Would you kindly forget about BioShock?
Oh, thank you. That would be there you go.
But oh boy. Speaking of controversy, Hogwarts Legacy. CB, tell me why you love J.K. Rowling. I'm kidding. Which house? Hold on. Which house are you in?
Well, I'll let you guess.
It's got to be a Slytherin.
right? It's got to be Slytherin.
You'd be wrong.
Really?
But how does it feel that two of your closest friends immediately said Slytherin?
It's funny because everybody that I've asked, I'm like, what house do you think? I've gotten so many different answers.
Definitely not Hufflepuff.
No.
Ravenclaw?
I would say Ravenclaw.
See, I thought I would be Ravenclaw too. But
no, he's Gryffindor.
Gryffindor?
Gryffindor.
Fascinating.
So did you actually because I know the game gives you some questions and then they kind of assign you through the sorting hat. Did you stick with what you got sorted with, or did you?
I stuck with what I got sorted with.
Interesting.
But I probably will play through this game twice.
Wow, well, that personality test on that game is jacked. If you get
well, no, because I want to play the opposite end of the spectrum.
Oh, is to do like a light and dark kind of thing, like Infamous or something like that?
No, not so much. But I've never seen the inside of the other houses outside of the movies. So I'm just kind of curious because you could go up to the entrances to the other houses in this game, but you can't go in.
Oh, that's kind of cool. It gives incentive to try it as another house later on.
So I'm like, cool. I want to try it. Though it is funny, I was reading an article. They're like, the most useless house in the game is Ravenclaw.
Oh, really? I would
Yeah.
have assumed Hufflepuff.
I was kind of like, yeah, I guess they're a little bit better than that. So
Well, their mascot's a honey badger, and we all know you don't mess with honey badgers.
honey badger don't care.
Do you get perks for each house or something?
They're mostly cosmetic perks.
Okay.
Yawn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cosmetics in this game, but you don't have to pay for any of it. So I'm kind of happy about that.
Can you just skip it? Can you just create your character and then just be set?
Okay.
'Cause that's
Some of when you equip the items, it just changes your appearance. You can turn them off, you can turn them on. But every time that you equip something, it turns it back on. And the glasses that they give you throughout this game make you look dumb.
like
it's
eyeglasses.
Yeah. Like there's the typical like Harry Potter glasses, but then there's these other ones that are like Newt's eye glasses where it gives you like eyes that look like lizards. And I'm like, but they're never like normal color. It's like neon orange. And I'm like, I can't look at my character and be serious.
I love that we're 2 minutes into this conversation with Hogwarts Legacy and we're talking about cosmetics. What is the gameplay like?
Is it an open world?
It's very
modern
open
world game. Yeah, I mean,
it's surprisingly big.
But is it just taking place inside the Hogwarts, or do you go outside of Hogwarts?
All around the area, like Hogsmeade. Like there's all these little towns around that you can go to too.
Interesting. Okay.
The area's huge, stupidly huge. Like it feels as large as a Far Cry map.
Wow. Okay.
that is what I anticipated.
Yeah,
Because you could fly a broom and be lame if you didn't have a lot of room.
you can fly a broom. You can fly a hippogriff.
A thestral if you pay an extra $10.
Yeah, you can. I will tell you that. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I bet. I'm sure it's a really awesome thestral.
But this game. First, I want to get the controversy crap out of the way because I don't know how much J.K. Rowling had to do with this game.
None.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care. Like
they've made like inclusive characters, right? Like you can be anything you want to be,
which
right?
Threw me for a loop.
Well,
because
there's also a trans character in the game.
You run into the trans character very, very early because she's
that was intentional.
Barkeep of
Yes, that was intentional. 100%.
But it's so bizarre. She's the barkeep. Well, they are the barkeep of Hogsmeade. And so you go up, and it's a very feminine looking person, but the voice is like, "Hey, how's it going? My name's Sirona," and I'm like, and it's like
controversial.
To me, if I was a trans person, I would be more off put by that because they did it so stereotypically.
Mm.
It has not gotten a positive reception on Twitter, but nothing they ever did would.
No.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
The
What about
character's
the?
cool.
I don't remember the character's name, but I keep seeing on Twitter everybody talking about the new teacher
Professor Garlic?
in the greenhouse or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's real
fine?
cute.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
she real fine.
Professor Garlic, you said?
Yeah.
As he grabs his phone to Google.
True waifu material.
Oh man, I better do some research. I don't want to be an uninformed podcaster.
Yeah. Look it up.
Well, the burning question I have, CB, because I haven't looked at a lot. I haven't watched any gameplay or anything, but I was a little nervous about the combat because it looked pretty generic.
It's super generic.
Yo, Professor Garlic could get it.
Yeah. No, the combat's very generic in the fact that in the beginning you were limited to four spells.
Mm-hmm.
Period. But as you progress further in the game, you can have up to 16.
Okay, I assume you can't have those all equipped at the same time.
Kind of. So you have your up, down, left, right D-pad, but you have to hold right trigger and A, B, X, Y to cast.
So it's like a combo you have to enter?
No, you just hold right trigger and it brings up your wand, and you have one of 4 spells to choose from.
So it's almost, it's like, yeah, readying your gun in a shooter.
So, but here's the weird thing. Like, if you hold down right trigger and press up, down, left, or right, it opens up a different wheel that you can equip for different spells too.
Okay.
So are you still casting the spell with the trigger though? Like, are you having to?
Yeah, you just hit the button and auto cast. The very first time you learn the spell, like it makes you drag your wand through the motion.
Oh, dude, that's kind of cool, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
So the very first time you do it, I'm like, okay, now you've learned the spell. You don't need to do that anymore. Just hotkey it.
Oh, okay.
You can learn all the unforgivable curses. But
weird they let you as a 15-year-old murder people.
Yeah. But you have to do a specific storyline with a Slytherin house member to unlock those.
You best believe I'm going to. Avada Kedavra. I'm gonna Avada Kedavra my ex in this game.
But that's why, like, the first time through, I'm playing it just like, okay, I'm gonna be good because it's a prequel. Like, it's like 1800s. So it's long before like anybody in the movie series is even there.
Even Dumbledore?
Yeah, long before.
Okay.
He's not even born yet.
Interesting.
So it's cool.
But you said that the combat still seems pretty basic, but if you're able to get up to 16 spells at a time, that sounds complicated.
Okay, you can have up to 16 spells, but the problem is to like switch to the different like 4 sets of spells. There's a lag between them. And so you're like, "Ooh, I'm going to make this guy float. Like I'm going to use Leviosa, throw him up in the air." But by the time you switch to a different set of spells to use, they're back on the ground and they're casting back at you. So you kind of have to set up your like primary 4 spells that you're going to use, and then you can change to like other ones. So
are these spells like force powers, or are they like bullets? Like I'm just really not understanding how it works.
You have ones that are like Repulso, where you can push them. Configuro, which is a fire curse. Like there's all the different spells that you see in the TV series, in the movie series. They're all there.
No, I get it, but I mean, does it play like a shooter though, or are you doing like?
Depends on how you play, because some of them you can just push them away, run away. Some of them you can just burn them alive.
When you ready your wand, does it go to like an over-the-shoulder aiming mechanic, or is it kind of like an overfield of the battlefield? Okay, so it's a little shootery.
It's a little, but it's still far enough back that you.
Now
it's a weird.
Sorry, you know, yeah. I know we're asking very specific questions here, but can you like deflect and parry and stuff like
that,
you can. Like other people's? Okay,
so you can shield yourself, and then like as they cast, if you time it right, you can stupefy them like right back and stun them, or knock their wand out of their hand. You can turn.
This is starting to sound pretty cool.
It's. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it. I've got almost 30 hours in.
30 hours.
I've completed 52% of the game.
Oh my god!
This guy just
it would take you. Oh my god!
It would take him
30 hours.
It's dude. I
feel like that.
There's so much to do. Dude, there's so much to do.
That's not what I'm flabbergasted by.
What?
It is Sunday. The game came out on Wednesday.
I paid the extra $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
30 hours,
dude.
Oh my god!
You lose so much track of time in this game because it is gorgeous to look at.
That's my next question. Is like how I keep hearing positive things about just how much they got this universe right in this game.
There are no lies. If you had no knowledge of Harry Potter, none, this is a beautiful entry point into that universe.
So you don't have to have a whole lot of previous knowledge.
Dude, Harry Potter, Voldemort, any of that, none of it is mentioned in this because it's 200 years before then.
Right, but there's still a lot of the familiar tropes, and you just have to know that this is a school for wizards, and that's it.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
And they talk about the other wizarding schools around the world that I didn't even know about. Like,
it's something I never really considered. There has to be, right? It can't be
one of the characters you talk about. She's a transfer student from the wizarding school in Africa.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like, I didn't know there was one. This is cool. Tell me more. And so as you talk to these characters, they give you like their background. There's literally so much to do in this. It feels like Assassin's Creed Unity. When you pull up the map too, there's so much crap to do.
I don't know, man. Unity overwhelmed me.
Like there's Merlin trials where you go around and you like do different spell casting things to do these little puzzles. By the way, Zach, you'll love this. The puzzles in this game feel like a Tomb Raider game.
Okay, so I was going to ask, what is the gameplay structure? Are you going to, is everything in the overworld when you're not in school, or are you sometimes going into like caverns and stuff like to explore?
There's stuff in the schools, there's stuff out in the overworld, there's hidden areas, there's stuff in buildings in like Hogsmeade.
Okay. Sounds pretty thorough.
Oh, almost. So far, I have not come across an area in this game that you cannot go into. Like, as you go to Hogsmeade, if you know the spells to unlock doors, you can go into anybody's house.
Is there anything of interest there, or is it just
Hamura?
Oh, yeah. There's things of interest. You have to like collect these one statues for the caretaker, and some of them are hidden in people's houses.
Gotcha.
So there's
now, are they like on the map? Like you could find, like you mentioned Assassin's Creed earlier. And that was one of the things I liked about Assassin's Creed is as long as you had the patience, you could just follow a point and then just have to search around in that area and find whatever you're looking for.
It does some of that, but some of the hidden stuff like the lore pages that you can collect, you have to use a spell called Revelio, which reveals things near you. But for the most part, when you start this game, map is fresh. There's nothing. But as you progress and you're like traveling around,
like the Fog of War list, kind of.
Yeah. And there's still sections of this map that I haven't been to.
Well, I mean, you've only put 30 hours in it, man. I mean, come on.
You can travel the whole, like once you get to the overworld area, you can go wherever you want. But there's just so much that I haven't had time to get there.
Do you have to go to classes like Bully or
yeah, you go to classes.
Okay.
But most of the time, like you'll go to a class, there's like a little cutscene, and then afterwards you can talk to the other students or the teachers because the teachers like give you more information. Wow, like the fact that we haven't even got to the story about this is crazy.
Yeah.
So you're actually a student who is transferring into Hogwarts as a 5th year because you discovered late that you had magic ability. But you are also, you have like a secret, innate magic ability, like it's like some form of ancient magic that you're discovering how to use as well. So you have like magic abilities that none of the other students have, which is kind of cool.
So is there like a main antagonist, or is that a secret? Is that like a fun reveal?
There's two bad guys. Well, there's one bad guy that starts with, then it turns into two, but it still feels like there's something hidden that's going on because apparently this is like during the time of like a goblin rebellion. So it's crazy because like those who are well rooted in the lore of like the Harry Potter universe may know some of it.
Gotcha.
But for me, like this is all fresh. This is all new. And the story is really captivating in the fact that like I can't, where like Zach, like you're super re-entrenched into Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
This game has me like enthralled. Like I'm constantly thinking about like, okay, when do I have some more time to like play this game? Like I want to discover more. And that there's like the room of requirement that like Harry uses in the 5th game, in the 5th movie. In this one, it's kind of like your own personal study space that molds to like whatever you need it to. And as you capture like magical beasts and everything, it opens up like an area that you can keep your beasts in, which is cool. So you can just go outside and like play with a unicorn.
Sure.
It's
He
really
drink its blood like Voldemort did.
But it's cool the fact that like there's so much, like there's a crafting system even.
Well, every game has to have one.
Yeah, but it's super simple because almost
I'm sure,
there's only like 16 different things that you can pick up to craft with.
It's on the checklist for modern AAA open world game.
Yeah. This game feels like there's just so much crammed in that it would be overwhelming, but it's simple enough that it's not. There's a skill tree, but it's,
of course,
it's nothing that makes or breaks the game.
Okay.
It's
you know
something
doesn't have
simple.
a skill tree? Red Dead. Just saying.
No, it doesn't. But it's something like, you get an additional like 0.5% power. Nothing super amazing. Or instead of collecting one item, you collect two.
Right.
It's nothing
Sounds
that makes or
awful.
breaks the game, but it's just there.
That's every skill tree. It's just there.
Yeah.
Doesn't actually do anything.
So clearly you were enjoying Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, without a doubt. Honestly, I think both of you would enjoy it.
Oh, I plan to play it. I've been out of town for the past 2 or 3 days. And I still got to finish Dead Space, and now I got Modern Warfare 2, and
well, see, I think that's why I put so much time into this game this week, is because this upcoming week I'm going to have severely limited time playing.
while you're gonna be busy finishing Ragnarok.
I have the same problem you do. I will be out of town for family reasons.
Couldn't help it, man. Had to get my dig in there.
Whoa.
All right. Well, Zach, you have been playing a game called Wanted Dead, which is a game that you spoke about as one of your most anticipated of the year when we did our Game of the Year episode. And I watched this trailer. I feel like I haven't seen a trailer for a game that screamed your name more than this one in a long time. I think even the trailer says if Ninja Gaiden were in a cyberpunk universe, which got me all kinds of excited. Is that an apt description of this game?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Ninja Gaiden is what I kept coming back to when I'm playing it, not only in terms of gameplay, but in terms of difficulty as well. It's a pretty hard game. But it is definitely like a character action sort of game, like a Ninja Gaiden would be. But set in I think it's actually set in 2022, but it's a dystopic Hong Kong version of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty
You're
cool.
a police officer, right?
Kind of. You play you're a former war criminal, as is your squad, and you all get to work off your sentences by working for the government.
That's kind of like Suicide Squad.
Yes, I mean, yeah. Your squad is called the Zombie Unit, which feels like a synonym of Suicide Squad.
All right,
but that's definitely the basic premise. That pretty quickly doesn't matter. It's definitely like a schlocky B movie, but that's all it wants to be. Like this is the kind of story that when back in the Blockbuster days, you would see this VHS. Oh God, I'm old. This DVD on the shelf, and you'd say, "What the hell is this about?" And you go home and watch it. You're like, "Well, that was wild." And that's kind of what Wanted Dead story is, because like it's essentially about a android uprising and stuff. But what it's really about is a bunch of cliches saying one-liners that you like, and living out some tropes from old action movies. It's pretty awesome.
So like an 80s, 90s action flick, put it in a video game with Cyberpunk and Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right.
I mean,
there's even VHSs as collectibles.
Oh, really? Well, yeah. So I don't mean this to sound like a knock, but because from what you're saying, it may be something that's done intentional. But some of the voice acting seemed really cheesy or not great, and I don't know if that was done intentionally or not, or am I misreading it?
No, you're right. It's always a fine line when developers try to do something like this. But my read, having played about 8 or 9 hours now, is that they're very much in on the joke. Like it is very much intentional.
Okay.
Because there's constant absurdity. Like when you have flashbacks, it's an anime cutscene.
I was going to ask that because like it goes from like this somewhat realistic looking action scenes and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's a hand-drawn animation.
Right, and you can find videotapes that is a live action cooking show from one of the voice actresses.
I saw that in the trailer, and I was like, "What is?" Because I was literally looking on the developer page for this because I was trying to get some info in preparation, and I was looking halfway down the screen, and there's like screenshots of a cooking show, it looks like a television cooking show, and I'm like, it took me a while. I still didn't know until you just said that. It makes sense now. I had no idea.
But the cooking show is funny because it'll be like, put your pork in the saute pan, and then you'll just hear it go like, wait, pigs went extinct years ago. What is this meat? Like just goofy stuff like that. But I would almost say it has like zany classic Adult Swim energy to some of its presentation.
So talk to me about the gameplay.
Yeah, a very character action-y game. So you have a katana. Your default weapon stance basically is katana in one hand and a pistol in the other. And it's
never seen that before.
It's pretty cool because your pistol, you can parry with your pistol, which is cool.
Another thing I don't think I've seen done in a video game before.
Yeah, well, it's actually the parry system. If you may, engage with me here, is pretty cool because most attacks you can just deflect with your sword, with the L1 button. But there are certain attacks that you have to do with the pistol, so you have to pay attention to which kind of parry to use, basically.
Like, are there? I mean, I assume it's not going to be like just QTEs or something, but specific types of attacks that come in.
Yeah, they'll have like a bright red light over their head almost. It kind of reminds you of like Arkham, how they have like comic book squiggles. But certain attacks have that, and then that's when you got to use your pistol. But it's a pretty cool push and pull of making sure you're doing the right block, parry, etc. But then you also have gun combat, so you can take people out from afar. But it has this like really clever. It's got a really good combat system where it just snaps you in automatically, but you don't even have to aim to get into cover or anything. You just kind of sidle up next to a wall and she'll just snap right in. But it doesn't feel sticky or annoying. She'll pop right back out if you want her to. I was just surprised at such a clean cover system this day and age, because I feel like cover systems are kind of not as popular.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were back in the Gears of War days, right? That's when that really got popular, right?
Yeah, but combat is constantly engaging because I feel like the enemies are surprisingly smart. Kind of would have expected this game to have some PS2 intelligence in its enemies.
Sure.
But they really are like they scatter if you throw a grenade, or if they're like running in between cover or whatever, they'll actually like dodge roll and stuff if they're getting shot at and stuff. Like they don't just stand around and get shot. It's pretty good, and they'll hunker down, and they don't do the thing where if they pop out of cover, they stand there for a second later so that we can shoot them. As soon as they're done firing, they'll hop back down.
Oh, okay. So
you really have to, are you going to risk getting shot to hit them, or are you going to try to sprint up to them with your katana? There's a lot going on in the combat, and it's a ton of fun, and it's super hard because in between each checkpoint you only get 3 heals basically. But the enemies do some pretty significant damage, so you really have to. The game demands you be good at it, essentially.
Gotcha. So you digging it?
I am. I mean, and we talk about PS2, PS3 era of games. Yeah, this game has mini games. You can like sing karaoke with your squad, or
what?
Yeah, and the voice actors actually do the karaoke over the songs.
Oh, that's really funny.
Yeah, so you can hear the main woman, Stephanie Houston. She was quiet in Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, okay.
But you can hear her singing 99 Luftballons. It's pretty great. And then there's like a ramen eating mini game where you have to do a rhythm game while you're eating ramen to make sure you're getting the noodles. So that way you're properly getting the noodles when they still have the sauce on them or the broth on them. It's really funny. There's a crane game you can play back at police headquarters to unlock new music and stuff like that. It's just a ton of fun, man.
That sounds I just want a collection of all the mini games from different games.
Dude, I kind of miss mini games, right? Like, I don't feel like you get them.
No,
like not like you did back then.
Well, I got good news for you, Zach. That new Kirby game's coming out. So
right, I'll download, or I could download WarioWare on my Nintendo Switch now. But as goofy as the story is, I do like the way the characters talk to each other, because they just talk a bunch of crap to each other like old friends. So I don't know, it's kind of a good feeling, and it's kind of an interesting. You know how we talked a few weeks ago, Scott, about how cutscenes used to be the reward?
Yeah.
So you do these hour-long action levels, but then you basically watch like 22-minute episode of television where they're just like hanging out at the diner and then going out to karaoke and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost feels like the cutscene is a reward again. It's pretty neat. Push and pull.
I'm sold. I don't know. You make it sound like it's pretty difficult. I'm not.
It is pretty difficult. I can't deny it. And I'm only playing on normal, and I like to play these kind of games usually on hard. But it's a challenging game. And I think part of that is just that the way the combat works with the all the different mechanics. It's not really like a lot of other games of this type. So you have to learn a game.
Well, what's interesting hearing you talk about this one so positively after the other game you talked about before, which is, the name is escaping me, but it was the one where there, like, your brother or sister was the ghost.
Solstice.
Yeah, Solstice. Because in that game you mentioned that it was almost like some of the mechanics got in its way too much, and made it difficult in a not fun way. But you're talking about this one positively, with a lot going on and high difficulty. So what's the difference here?
Well, Solstice had a problem of, it was almost like a bug squashing mechanic, I called it, because you had to have the right color on your sword at any given time, and you have to go in between those each second. Wanted Dead it's less about that kind of weird manipulation. It's more just about like raw reflex and skill.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes sense.
You can get in there, and as long as you're good enough, you'll win. Whereas Solstice felt like it had the trouble of, it almost felt like it was trying to trick you or something, or it didn't feel... The difficulty didn't feel as honest.
That makes sense. All right, thanks for clearing that up. So, Wanted Dead. Sounds like you're going to recommend this one for people to check out? Yeah,
huge recommendation. If you miss that era of game, right? Because this game is straight up linear A to B every action level. There are like collectibles, but you can't... I think I have almost all of them because you can't really miss them because the game is so linear. It's pretty... kind of refreshing, Isn't
it weird that we crave linear games like this? Like when I played Evil West, I was just like I felt like I was in heaven for a little bit. Like,
yeah, well, it's just like I didn't want when the open world games used to happen, and most games were linear. It's like, oh, nice, a breath of fresh air.
Right, that's what it is.
We just never get linear games now. It's
grass is always greener.
It's like, boy, I just don't understand why we can't live in a world where we get both.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of games coming out. We just probably aren't aware which ones are linear based. So.
Yeah. Well, I feel like whenever we do get a linear game, it's got something like, oh, it's a roguelike as well. It's always something. Yeah. It's always something else.
They're always peppered in some element that is not necessarily for you. I get it.
Right. Oh, I should mention there is a skill tree. It's useless.
It's useless.
Well, I mean, it's just a silly nonsense skill tree because you unlock. I got all of the skill tree before even the last level.
Oh, really?
It's just, and the skills are dumb stuff like throw a grenade.
Oh,
it's just okay. It's everything I don't like about skill trees. So I feel like to be on brand, I gotta mention it's pretty useless. The illusion of choice, as so many skill trees are, but the game is fun, great. Even.
Fair enough. All right, well, we got a couple other reviews to check out here real quick. I sat down and talked to Rel and David about a couple of games they're reviewing for us, so we'll play those for you right now. Well, hey there, Rel. How you been, man?
I've been great, other than car troubles, but I've got games to talk about, and that's more important, dang it.
Absolutely. I'm excited to talk about this one because we mentioned it a little bit before we started recording, and it sounded very intriguing. So talk to me about Dig Deep in Galaxies. We're kind of unclear if it's called Dig or if it's called Deep in Galaxies or both. But regardless, it was provided to us by Stride PR and is developed by Molten Studio. Why don't you tell everybody what you told me?
So Dig, which I'm just calling it for short because that name's too long, is take Broforce, but make it a roguelike, and you have a game. And that's it. That's all you really need to know. But I'll talk about it more because that's what I'm here for.
Okay.
So the premise behind the game is you are some random schmuck on a planet who some evil overlord, galactic overlord in this case, lands one of their ships on your planet, and you just grab a gun and a shovel, and you're just like, nah, man, we're not having any of that nonsense.
A gun and a shovel?
Yep.
Okay. I'm listening.
Because just like the name suggests, you dig a lot in this game. It's a 2D game. You can swing your melee weapon, and that can be like, shovel, sword, lamp pole, stop sign, bunch of various stuff. Guns can be a bunch of various stuff that you can pick up. You can dig your way through a given level. You can shoot your way through a given level. There's a grappling hook. There's a double jump. And essentially the premise is once you knock out the Overlord's minion, you steal their ship, and then you fly around the galaxy doing missions for the rebellion and eventually take down the admirals and then the Overlord, him or herself.
Okay. The digging mechanic reminds me, I know sounds like an obvious comparison, but it reminds me of SteamWorld Dig. I don't know if you played that game.
Haven't yet. I really need to.
You do. That game's great.
Yeah, but digging is really important only because, number one, there's money located in like parts of the dirt that you dig in. You can get coins or diamonds. And that's one way of getting money in the game. But also, if there's an area that has a bunch of enemies or exploding boxes or what have you, you can dig around it. You can just go down and around if you want. Mm-hmm. And it provides a lot of freedom. And then the grappling hook allows for like traveling back up if you need to. And so it has a lot of like freestyle type movement and a lot of explosions and a lot of ways to die.
Okay. Sounds difficult. Are you struggling with it, or?
It took me about 6-7 runs in total to actually get a winning run on the beginning difficulty. And I say beginning because that was what was unlocked for me at the start. There was no option to go like any difficulty higher. Mm-hmm. And because it's a roguelike, it's very reliant on, did you get really good items to help you steamroll the game? Or do you know the boss patterns well enough and the enemy behavior well enough to steamroll the game regardless of your gear? It took me about 6 or 7 runs to both get familiar with the game and get really broken items that let me steamroll the rest of it. And so now I unlocked a higher difficulty level that I'm currently working on. I've gotten to like the 2nd sector so far, because the gameplay loop is once you get the ship, you can roam around the galaxy. You can pick a planet to do a mission on, and you have to do 3 missions, and then you unlock the lieutenant's ship. You go in, you kill the lieutenant, you unlock the admiral's ship, you have a boss battle, you go to a new sector, and you do it all over again. And there's tons of stuff to unlock. There's lots of little secrets. There's lots of little opportunities to get more loot. Lots of little bonus areas that you can uncover if you know what to look for. There's a lot there.
That sounds right up my alley. You know me and roguelikes. I'm intrigued by anytime you have a roguelike and it has just like so many different kinds of weapons and items and abilities just to kind of make each run feel different. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, the run that I recorded for the video that's going to go live on my channel, youtube.com/RelPlays, on February 15th, 7 a.m., which is when the embargo ends. So in that game in particular, I got shoes that protected me from lava. And I got a shield that blocked any shots that were coming at me from behind, and a helmet that protected me from things hitting me on the head, because there are like, stalactites that fall on your head and whatnot and then kill you. So that run in particular, I was able to tackle a certain bonus area completely differently from what the intended strat was, because it was like, okay, you have lava on top of these thin bits of land, and you're intended to grapple along the bottom, right? That's the challenge. I just jumped on top and ran across the top.
Oh, like the old thing we used to do in Mario Brothers back in the day. Super Mario Brothers, remember?
Yeah.
You get up at the top and
Yeah, but like if I hadn't found those shoes, I would have had to do it the intended way by grappling. Mm-hmm. And so that just changed everything about it. And I know there are certain levels later on where you're in a volcanic area. There's lots of lava around. So getting those shoes changed how I tackled those levels.
Gotcha. Yeah, this sounds like something I need to check out. Now, you're playing this on PC, correct?
Yes.
Any word, or have you read anything about this possibly coming to consoles, or is this going to be a strictly PC release?
I am actually looking at it right now. I don't think so. I haven't heard of a of a console release. It looks like it's just on Steam for now, but it also looks like the kind of thing that would be fantastic on literally any console, but especially on the Switch. I will say there is co-op in this game. It is couch co-op.
Okay.
So if you have a friend crowded around your PC and you want to play, they're looking into doing online. And I actually, like, the devs are responding to posts on the Steam forums, and I gave them my thoughts on the game after having beaten it once. And they said, hey, that's great. What do you think about this and this and this? And so I gave them a little bit of feedback, and they're like, yeah, we actually want to do that. It's just not going to be available for launch, but we want to put that in. So they're looking to expand the game even before it releases.
Interesting. So it sounds like pretty clear cut. You recommend this one. It sounds like you're having a blast with it.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of fun, and I still haven't really dug, terribly deep into it, because there's at least 2 other characters that I haven't unlocked. There's probably another difficulty that I haven't unlocked. There's a whole like curse thing going on that unlocked once I beat the game for the first time that I'm not really sure what's going on about it. And the core gameplay behind it is just fun. It is especially fun once you really learn the grappling and the jumping and the mechanics that allow you to travel much easier, because before that, like for the first 5 or so runs, I didn't touch the grappling, and I didn't realize that it made traveling so much easier, because you can grapple and do another double jump. So grapple, double jump, grapple, double jump, and so you just can go forever. And
that's cool, because most games don't let you have that double jump when you grapple. They usually count that as, that doesn't count as landing.
Right. Yeah. But no, they let you do that, and they give you so much freedom to it. And yeah, it's a ton of fun. I really do recommend it if you are a roguelike fan, obviously. If you liked Broforce, but you wanted it to be more of a roguelike so that it had infinite replay value, definitely recommend it then. Yeah, it is a solid game.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for checking it out. Again, that is Dig, or Deep in Galaxies. Thanks so much for checking it out, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one, okay?
You too.
Talk to you later.
Later.
Well, hello there again, David Newman. How you doing, man?
I am doing well. How are you doing, Scott?
I'm doing okay. I'm genuinely interested to talk to you about this game called SokoChess White that was actually sent directly from the developer Daisy Game Studios. It looks like a chess game, but only with white pieces. So there's no black pieces. How does that work?
Yeah, you're exactly right. So this is actually a spin-off of a game that Daisy Games made called SokoChess, where there was black pieces involved, and you had to make sure you, finish the puzzle in a certain amount of moves or time or something, and otherwise the black pieces can take out your chess pieces. And
right. I actually remember seeing that one advertised. I think I got a press release on it a while back, and I thought it seemed interesting. I'm terrible at chess, so I didn't give it a try personally.
Yeah, well, this one kind of takes that out of the equation. So all it is just white pieces, and all you have to do is you just have to move your chess pieces to a specific spot. So, and you do that by the typical way that chess pieces move. Bishops move diagonal, rooks move vertical, so on and so forth. But you do that also, instead of taking chess pieces, you move your own chess pieces, or you move environments or things like that. It's a very simple concept, but it is challenging.
I looked at the trailer, and I'm struggling to wrap my head around even some of the simpler puzzles, and I want you to kind of clear it up for me. At some point, it looked like the guy that was playing in the trailer was moving a rook piece over pawns of the same color. Are you capturing your own pieces, or because he was going back and forth, and I just could not figure it out?
No, so essentially, what you do is you move your, like in this case, a rook can move the pawn. It's not capturing it; it's just pushing it. It's which is different from chess, but it's instead of playing a traditional chess style, it's just moving pieces and everything. And again, that's to either move the chess pieces themselves into specific positions, or moving obstacles to get out of the way. A good example, the knight actually swaps places with a chess piece. So like you can use the knight to move it, like move a pawn to the specific space you want. And then
that throws in a whole level of complexity I can't even wrap my brain around.
I
don't think I'm smart enough to play this game, David. I'm not a doctor like you.
Oh my gosh, it's not that. it's not like difficult in the sense of like it's a challenging concept or anything, but it really does. There are some levels where it takes a lot of thinking to do it. The nice thing is at least there is a complete reset button. There's also an undo button. So if there's a move that you made that you're like, oh wait, no, that's not right. That way you can undo a couple moves instead of just completely restarting. So,
and there's 70 total puzzles, right?
There are 70 total puzzles. The first 3 probably took 30, 40 seconds in themselves.
Right.
The fourth one took a little bit longer, and the fifth one actually took me 10 minutes. And then it kind of goes back and forth between there might be a puzzle that's very complex. I mean, I had puzzles that took me 30, 45 minutes just to take me, and then there's in between you'll get some puzzles that are less than a minute, some that are 5. The nice thing is it'll introduce new obstacles or new chess pieces to start using that makes it feel fresh throughout the entire experience.
I love it when puzzle games do that, where it gets difficult, but they kind of do a reset to kind of reteach you a new concept or something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever new thing is being introduced into this puzzle, it kind of just ramps back up the difficulty, and then you hit that really difficult one, and then it starts over again. So you're not feeling frustrated the whole way. You get these little pockets of respite almost, which is nice.
Yeah, I like that too. I thought that was really nice. And I think for the most part, it's never. And the nice thing is the puzzles are never unsolvable, right? They're you just gotta try that perfect combination, essentially.
Gotcha. Is it usually just one solution per level, or are there multiple ways to tackle it?
It kind of depends on, I guess, what the level is. Some of the more challenging ones are pretty much you have to do the right moves, but those are pretty few and far between. A lot of them are you have some leeway. There's obviously a certain amount of specific moves you'll have to make, though.
So is this one you recommend? SokoChess White?
Yeah, I recommend it, and I would think this is actually probably what they should have started with. And because I haven't tried SokoChess, but I imagine that one is even more difficult, just because you have that, I guess, aspect of potentially
defense.
The defense to an extent. I don't think it was perfectly you make a move, they make a move or anything.
Right.
But I recommend this, and SokoChess was only $3.99 or $4.99 or something.
It's $4.99. It's actually not out yet. It comes out in a couple weeks, I believe. So if you're listening to this before, what's the date today? Today's the 12th. So before, I don't know, the 24th or early March, it's not available yet. But keep an eye on it. It will be on Steam. This seems like a game that would be suited very well for mobile. I was kind of shocked it's not on mobile.
Yeah, I kind of am too. The only thing that I had difficulty with that they would need to change to make it mobile is the undo button if you're using a touchpad, which my laptop is only touchpad right now.
Okay.
It there is no way to click off and then click a different chess piece. So
Gotcha.
If I wanted to move a pawn and hit a bishop or something like that and move it, I would need to click a different chess piece or undo it.
Okay.
Do the move and then undo it, and then that would deselect the chess piece, if that makes any sense of what I just said.
So you need a deselect button, or maybe if you had a touch screen, hold it down to, instead of just a single press, a hold press I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, I mean it has it with the mouse and keyboard. There's a right click that deselects.
Oh, okay.
But on the touchpad it doesn't. So that's what I was trying to get after.
Makes sense. Well, David, thank you so much for checking out SokoChess White. It sounds pretty good. I'm still not sure I'm smart enough, but I may give it a shot. $5 is a great price for that game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's well worth it. It probably took me 6-7 hours or so to beat the 70 levels,
Nice.
maybe even longer.
Nice. All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you next time, all right?
All right. Thanks.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. Moving on before we get to our topic of the week, I want to remind everybody about where you can follow The Gaming Outsider if you'd like to join our community. Our first is facebook.com/groups/thegocast. Also, our Discord is up, and there is a link for that in the show notes for this episode. We'd love it if you come join in either of those places. Lots of good conversations happening over there. Also, if you could, do us a favor, drop us a review wherever you listen to the podcast. It helps us out get the word about The Gaming Outsider. We do appreciate it. Speaking of, we do have a TikTok, believe it or not, where Kevin has actually been taking some clips of our episodes, video included, and putting up there some of the funnier moments. And we're also trying to put our topic each week in a TikTok so that you guys can respond on there. We are at the GoCast. If you'd like to follow us, I would appreciate it. Lastly, our website is thegamingoutsider.com. There you'll find all our episodes and all of our written content. David's review of SokoChess White is up there that you can check out. And Zach's review of Dead Space is all available for you as well. So be sure to check that out. I would love it if you did. With that, we're going to go ahead now into our From the Outside In topic. This past week, Nintendo had another live direct where they revealed a ton of new games, trailers, and release dates, some of which are available right now. And since there was so much information to go over, we decided to make it this week's From the Outside In topic instead of talking about it in the news. So we're going to go everything shown, discuss what we loved, and our overall thoughts on Nintendo's future. So here's what I'm going to do, guys. I got a list of everything that was shown in the direct. I'm going to read through it. Stop me if something excites you or you want to talk about it, because there's quite a list here, and I don't want to spend a ton of time. But Pikmin 4 is going to be released on July 21st, 2023. You guys Pikmin fans? Yes, no?
It's there. I've never really played a Pikmin game. But
yeah, I've never played a Pikmin.
Just the first one, and it was interesting, but nothing that stuck with me. So,
yeah.
Oh well. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is getting an expansion pass DLC. It's the third one that's coming on February 15th.
My buddy, shout out to Snugboy, very excited about this.
Yeah, down in Australia.
Yes, yep.
Samba de Amigo Party Central is coming in this summer of 2023.
I hope it comes with sweet peripherals.
Yeah, that's a rhythm game, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you remember the original
maracas,
it came with like the maracas.
Yeah, that's what I thought it did.
So I'm like, we already got the drum one for the drum rhythm game. So now,
right?
Yeah, I like peripherals sometimes.
Fashion Dreamer,
don't care.
Coming 2023. No,
I don't think we're the target demo.
I don't think so either.
At all.
I know CB is going to be stoked about this one. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, that new content for Dead Cells, March 6th. Now, are you playing that on Switch or are you playing on Xbox?
I play it on both.
Both. Okay, so you're going to be getting it regardless. What is it? Just like a new aesthetic? Is it a new level? Is there more story that's going to be tied to Castlevania? All right, all of the above.
It makes you sad that. Is Castlevania not popular enough to just get a new game? It has to be DLC for other games?
Well,
that's a good point.
Castlevania is like in that weird limbo because we get like Bloodstained 2, Return to Castlevania on Dead Cells. Like they just skirt around Castlevania.
Right.
Bloodstained was good.
I just think they'd do well just making like use the engine or whatever of Symphony of the Night or the GBA games and just make a new one.
It's weird they went the entire cycle of a hugely popular Netflix show without capitalizing on it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very weird. Tron Identity coming on April 11th. It's more of a narrative driven game, right? Which is weird.
I want to be excited because I love the Tron universe so much. But this to me, like, it just feels like a complete waste of the use of the license.
That's kind of what I thought. I mean, I'll probably check it out, but I don't know, a Tron game where you're not like.
But that's the thing about
doing
Tron.
discs.
Like you want to see the action. You want to, and I'm like, you want to give me still frames and text.
It's Mike Bithell.
Don't care.
I do.
That helps actually.
Yeah,
no,
because he's certainly a good writer, but I'm with you guys because I wanted to be excited for this game too because obviously I am a huge fan of Bithell games. But yeah, when you see Tron, you want to be on the light cycle. You want to be throwing the data discs, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You want to be immersed in that, like
In the
everything
grid.
about that universe, and just to see still frames and text.
It did look weirdly still framing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's that like 3D still frame where as they move, it makes it simulate like, oh look, they're slowly turning their head while looking at you.
Yeah, it's a little bit like his circular narrative games, Quarantine and Subsurface Circular, where they're basically just games about talking. But it's a weird use of the license.
Yeah.
I agree. Next up is Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. I haven't thought about Ghost Trick games in a long time. That's coming out summer 2023. Deca Police also comes in 2023 with no real date there. This one is not brand new. We saw this revealed before, but Bayonetta Origins, is it pronounced Cereza? And the Lost Demon? That's coming March 17th. That's not too far. I can't decide if I'm interested in that game because
No.
I only played the first Bayonetta, and I feel like going back to Bayonetta's origin story doesn't sound intriguing to me. I'd just rather play a game when she's cool.
Yeah, speaking as a Bayonetta fan, I don't care about her origin.
Okay.
Also, the storyline isn't exactly the highlight of the Bayonetta franchise.
Right.
You know, the cutscenes are there to show off some ladies and have some awesome action scenes.
Right.
I would be surprised if people were out there who are concerned with the lore of Bayonetta.
I've
There's gotta
never
be
met
somebody.
anybody that was.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
they exist.
Splatoon 3 is getting some DLC. Fire Emblem
Hold on.
Engage. Oh,
I don't care about Splatoon, but is this DLC just a new hub area?
don't know. I didn't pay that
In the
close
trailer,
enough
I had
attention to it.
I had to look it up to the press release afterwards to make sure I wasn't crazy. But this first DLC is just a hub area.
That's it?
Just
Dumb.
so we don't know what the second DLC is yet because they only hinted at it, right? But the expansion pass is $25, and the first one is it's the hub area where you used to hang out in the first Splatoon, but now you can hang out there in the third Splatoon.
Yeah, that doesn't seem that cool.
That's insane, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not a big Splatoon person, so it doesn't
Not
affect
gonna
me.
lie. As we're progressing through this direct, I'm
You're
not
less
interested.
excited? I love Splatoon 2. I never did play 3, but no.
I love it in concept. Like, I just think it's a really neat idea, to make a shooter where you're not shooting.
Yes, awesome.
And it's just a different mechanic that I think is really cool. I'm not interested in spending the time to get good at it. Like, I played some of I wouldn't call it a campaign, but it's more or less like these training missions that you do in the original game. But
Let's say
I appreciated it.
Second game had a straight up 3D platforming campaign.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah, it was great. It felt like Nintendo.
All right. Moving on. Fire
Yeah.
Emblem Engage is getting an expansion pass. That's actually available right now. And that was one of my favorite things about this direct is like you can get this right now or later tonight. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Or demo available now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Harmony, The Fall of Reverie. That is a new game from Don't Nod. That was kind of a fun surprise. Comes out in June of this year. Disney Illusion Island got a release date of July 28th, 2023.
It's cute.
That game's going to sell pretty well, I think.
I
It'll do well.
like the
This is-
platforming that they have in it. It looks good.
Mhm.
This is the Mickey Mouse one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this game looked great, actually. It
Yeah.
looked like a lot of fun.
Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp comes out on April 21st. Man, I wanted to like the Advance War games. Like I used to be in a video game community online on Rotten Tomatoes when I was younger, and everyone just raved about these games and said, you got to play them. And I played them, and I just did not get it. I don't understand the appeal. It's a me problem, clearly, because everybody loves them. But
I remember them being very simple, or almost like how people joke around that Pokemon is baby's first RPG.
yeah,
This felt like baby's first tactics game.
I can see that.
I could see that too. I mean, that's kind of the impression I got. Everyone was just like, this is amazing. And I'm like, I kept waiting for it to be, I just assumed it was going to get so hard, it was too hard for me. So
Right.
I
remember it being
just
very
kind of
easy,
gave up.
but maybe I'm misremembering.
Octopath Traveler 2 has a release date of February 24th, so that's coming out later this month. I've had a couple people ask me if I'm going to play that, and I don't think I am. Like,
It's gonna be
I didn't finish.
you're gonna sink a bunch of time to, hit a wall, and just be like, God,
Yeah,
we're going back.
I'm so worried that's what's going to happen with this game. Like, I'm just not. If I don't have any hope of finishing a game, I just feel like I don't even want to start it. But maybe I'll wait to hear some reviews.
Do we know? Do the characters talk to each other this time?
I don't know. There was some talking in the first one, but it was just like little, like 1 or 2 words or phrases from the text. You remember that?
Well, I remember the characters not having. It was just 8 separate storylines. I remember.
Oh, I see.
Which is annoying.
Because you could have any group of the characters with you.
Right.
Right.
As opposed to Live Alive, which had like 7 storylines, but then they all converged and it was awesome.
I saw that one on sale for like $40 the other day. I really thought about it because I still haven't played that one. But I don't need more backlog right now.
I have the copy that a friend got me. If I could let that friend borrow it.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie coming on June 2nd. I can't believe the Katamari games are still alive. I loved them, but
because they're fun.
They are fun. That's a game I would love to introduce my students. Not even tell them what it is. Just hand them a controller and be like, go. And just see their reaction.
Well, and it's a very easy learning curve.
Yeah. Just go just roll into objects and pick them up and then just see what happens. Like, I want to do that. This one I'm excited about. Sea of Stars.
You and me both.
Releases on August 29th. That's the first time we got the official release date of that game. This is a game I kickstarted. So I have been very eagerly anticipating this one.
I'm excited for a dumber reason.
What?
This is a prequel to The Messenger.
Right. Which is weird because it's a completely different style of game. But
I have a feeling there's going to be a Messenger twist. But this is an RPG. This is an RPG game.
Don't assign false expectations to the game, though.
I'm not. I'm just saying I'm hoping there's a Messenger twist. Like now you're like you're the same as me, Scott. You're like, okay, now I'm like beyond excited for this game.
Oh, and you just got me really excited to play that now. I'm gonna temper my expectations, Zach. I promise.
I'm not revealing any spoilers, but I'm just saying
it's not going to be fair to the game if you play it and you're disappointed there's not a twist. That's what I'm saying.
Right. It looks great regardless.
With as much as they keep saying like, oh yeah, this is a prequel to The Messenger, nod nod, hint hint, wink wink.
The fact that they were able to get the Messenger out without ever revealing that was pretty impressive.
Well, and
I feel like that's a pretty big marketing push for that game, right?
Oh yeah, but I don't need it to be the exact same twist.
No, it could be another twist. But they're just the new Shyamalan.
But that's why I'm like excited for the fact that there's going to be something in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was one of the best looking games of the Direct, but I have no Messenger connection. I just think it looks awesome.
It does look awesome. And there will be a GoCast gravestone in the or monument in the game too.
Right, yeah. Can't wait to see it.
If I can find it. There's going to be so many of them probably.
Yeah.
You're going to spend hours just probably.
Read every tombstone.
Omega Strike on April 27th, 2023. Just an how do you pronounce this, Zach? Etrian Odyssey? Yeah. Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection? Is that just a collection of the old games?
Little excited for this one.
Never played them.
This is one of the few games that I own sealed copies of. And I don't want to crack them open for value's sake.
Oh, so now you can play them.
So I'm like, I can finally play this.
Games were meant to be opened, Chris. You're supposed to open your games.
Just like Zelda collections.
Oh, I'm speaking sarcastically.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, I also don't play my DS much, so I haven't ever gotten around to it. Like, I've got 4 or 5 sealed DS games, mostly because I've never gotten to them.
Man, I played the DS a lot, and it's just weird that like going back to that console seems weird now. I don't have any desire to go play the DS.
That's part of the reason why those games are still sealed, because I'm like, I'm not going to open them because I just haven't. I don't feel the need to go back because Nintendo seems like to just remake and port everything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Speaking of, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming on February 24th. I never played this game. I honestly don't even think I knew this existed. This is a Wii game that is a collection of minigames. It looks like a Mario Party or a WarioWare, and I think it looks charming. Like, this is going to be a, replace D&D on a Thursday night sometime with some beers, right?
Yeah.
Or after D&D. You're missing out, Zach. Some of those nights are fun playing. We played that fishing game with Nate and Kevin.
God. Ace Angler.
I haven't laughed so hard in so long, dude. That game is so dumb but fun.
That's all those Japanese mini games.
Oh my goodness!
Like, it's just, we should all play the drum rhythm game together, because I guarantee you,
yeah,
alcohol plus that, it's gonna be a fun time.
And I unfortunately can't mimic that game like with my voice without offending somebody.
Nope,
but it is seriously so funny to play. Okay. Anyway, so this is where things got a lot more interesting for me. The Nintendo Switch Online now has Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. That seemed like huge news. I don't think anybody expected that to happen that quickly.
Dude, did you guys see Pokemon the trading card game, the Game Boy Color game, is coming?
I didn't even know that was a game.
I played the hell out of this game, man.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
it's one of the most common Game Boy Color games to find out there.
Really?
It is phenomenal. What a great game.
Are the Oracle games, are the Zelda Oracle games coming? I know they're not available now, but I can't remember the coming soon list. Are those coming?
They were in the preview image.
Okay, because I still have to finish those games, and I own them on my 3DS. I think I still have them on my 3DS. No, I sold my 3DS, so I don't have those games. So now I'll be able to actually go play those.
You have a 3DS, don't lie to me.
No, I
Holy
don't.
Crap, man. Those games
It's
are so
sealed.
good.
Oh, I do have a 3DS.
Yeah, you have a
Sealed
3DS.
Yeah, it's staying that way.
Man.
And then, go ahead.
Oracle of Seasons and Ages are great.
Yeah, they look very similar to the Link's Awakening, and just they could connect them. It was just such a cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Skyward Sword, there's just not a lot of bad Zelda games.
That is a bad Zelda game.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Oh, there's no such thing as a bad game, Scott.
Skyward Sword definitely ain't for me.
Skyward Sword was not for me. I've tried to play that game twice. Once on the Wii and now once on the Switch. And nope.
Yeah, dude, I beat that. I played that whole 60-hour game on Switch. And I hated it almost the whole time.
Ugh. Ugh. And then the reveal of Metroid Prime Remastered, which is available now, at least now digitally. It's so weird that they release games digitally and then offer a physical release. So people are like,
I think it's a pretty
smart
easy
move.
path. Yeah. All the people who are, not all, most of the people buying it physically probably also bought it digitally today.
Oh, you think so?
You're going to get the double down.
Yeah. With Nintendo collectors, I think absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo gamers are famous for not having any patience whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're told the game is broken at launch, they'll still buy it anyway, and they complain the whole time.
Very true.
But Nintendo fans, they want everything. So they're impatient. They're buying it digitally today. Oh, but they got to get that physical as well.
Right.
You can't not have it on the shelf.
And I don't. Again, this is another one I don't know how to pronounce. Is it Batten Kaitos?
Yep.
Batten Kaitos.
1 and 2 HD remastered. Those are games I never played, but the covers really intrigued me when I was younger. Yeah, GameCube.
Shout out to my childhood friend Chris. It was one of his favorite games ever.
Nice.
I thought it was neat because you, the player, are one of the characters.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think you're like the main character's god or something like that.
Yeah,
but they acknowledge you. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that is kind of cool. Fantasy Life. Is it I? Fantasy Life I? The Girl Who Steals Time. Coming 2023. Professor Layton and the New World of Steam 2023. Why has it taken this long for a Professor Layton game to get made? Like, the series is really popular, isn't it?
Yeah, what the last one was 3DS?
Had to be, right?
At least, if not just DS.
They did a few games on iPhone or on mobile devices.
That makes sense. And then Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting a fourth wave of DLC this spring. And then WBSC eBaseball Power Pros, that's available right now. And then we finally got a trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which releases on May 12th, 2023. And they also revealed that pre-orders and all that.
let's be honest. That's why you chose this for the topic this week, because you're like, yeah,
I did not choose this for the topic this week. That
lies. All lies.
Back me up, Zach.
It was me.
It was Zach.
That's lots to talk about. We got to talk about Tears of the Kingdom, though, right? This trailer told me nothing. I still don't know what this game is.
I don't. I'm glad I wasn't the only one, because everyone's like going crazy about this. Oh, there's a new voice actor voicing Ganon. Is it Ganon?
Yeah, maybe.
We don't know. Link is riding a giant vehicle that seems completely impractical for Hyrule.
Yes, yeah.
I have no idea what that is. I feel like we got more information from the amiibo than this trailer. Like, seriously, there's like he's got a blue hand that's casting some kind of magic. Hey, there's a new ability we got. This trailer told me nothing.
There's a few things I want to know. One, because it kind of seemed like Zelda was going to get damseled again, which would be incredibly disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I already spent 150 hours in Breath of the Wild rescuing her. So I hope that's not the case, but that's a vibe I got from the trailer. But secondly, like, my purchasing decision of this game at launch, I mean, it doesn't matter because it's going to be $70 regardless.
Yeah.
Forever. But are there dungeons? Because when I finished Breath of the Wild, my desire was not, I want some more of the open world Hyrule stuff. It was, that was great, but now do this, but with actual dungeons as well.
That's a really good point, because I don't want to do 120 mini shrines anymore.
Right. And I also don't want to, they haven't told us what's so different about this version of the game, so I really don't want to do 100 hours of the same kind of game either.
Yeah, I mean, I pre-ordered it, so I'm going to sound completely hypocritical here, but I don't really have a desire to go back and play Breath of the Wild again. And I feel like that's all the information we've gotten from this trailer.
As we discover the 4 new secret ancient guardians underneath Hyrule.
Yeah.
I mean, those were kind of dungeony, right? Like,
they were basically just shrines connected, you know.
They were just really large. Dungeons. They were just larger shrines.
Right. It was basically like 3 shrines tied together.
Mm-hmm.
And they were cool, but it made you crave real dungeons.
Right.
And you know, not for nothing, this game's been in development for 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of, it looks suspiciously like the last one,
mm-hmm.
you know. And I love Breath of the Wild to death. I bought a Switch just to play that game and was perfectly happy with that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm not rushing to jump back in.
That's why I got a Switch, was for that. I played Scott's Switch and Breath of the Wild.
That's right. I remember that.
And then that made me go out and buy a Switch and Breath of the Wild, but because I had already beaten Breath of the Wild on Scott's Switch, I never opened mine.
I forgot about that.
So
you got a sealed Breath of the Wild?
First print too.
Nice.
So for me, like, everybody spent so much time in that. There's been multiple things done with it. How are we going to advance this story? Like, oh no, something happened. All the shrines reset. Like, if there was dungeons, we would have found them by now.
Yeah, if it's the same world, like they're just gonna dungeons just pop up magically.
Like, oh, the dungeons are in the sky.
Let's say you could there's some ways you could do it. Yeah, they're either in the sky or like, oh man, a new evil has erupted out of the earth, revealing a whole bunch of new areas of Hyrule. You know, you can definitely do some goofy stuff.
That's what worries me, is it's going to be like, oh yeah, and they're all shrines,
right?
Yeah.
Well, you bring up an interesting point though, CB, because we don't often get direct sequels in the Zelda universe, right?
Yeah,
most games are almost like this standalone thing. And the timeline between these games is like so impossible to know because they're not really connected. This is directly connected. It takes place at least at the beginning of the game on the same map. Maybe they're going to do maybe there's going to be a surprise
400 years later.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Or there's some portal that transports him to an alternate, you know, Hyrule or something, like a dark world where everything is reset.
I'm just waiting for the ultimate bait and switch, where like everything they showed, like, oh yeah, you don't know anything because everything you've seen doesn't actually exist. This is a completely different game than we've shown you.
It's all been a virtual reality simulation for like.
I mean, that would be kind of brilliant because they're going to sell copies just because of the popularity of the original. I mean, we talked last week about how kids don't like to play story games as much as they used to, like back when we were younger. But kids played the crap out of Breath of the Wild. Like
the fact that every now and then I still see Breath of the Wild content pop up on like TikTok or Facebook.
Dude, I keep seeing people doing things in Breath of the Wild that just blow my mind, that they're, number one, able to pull it off, and number two, that they thought of it.
That's
they
what I'm
thought
saying,
of
like,
trying to do that.
people are still doing things with it.
Mhm.
And so unless they completely reinvent the formula that they've done, this is just going to be a continuation. Like
Yeah, I agree.
that's what worries me. And then 5-6 hours in, if it's just the same, I'm going to be bored.
Well, I mean, I haven't played the original in 6 years, so even if it is a lot of the same, I'll still get my enjoyment out of it. But I'm just kind of hoping that something changes that is not being revealed in the marketing that will be fun.
Right.
The last thing, I got this information from a website where I was getting a list of everything that was announced, and I don't remember seeing this. So did either of you guys see this Natsuman
I
20th
saw
Century
the
Summer Vacation
trailer.
thing? But is it only in Japan? Is it not anything that's going to come here?
No idea.
I don't know how I missed that, but
Well, as much as they like things like to stay in Japan, that doesn't.
Mhm.
It's not like when we were kids, where it was like it was released in Japan. It's only in Japan.
right.
With the fact that you can change your location, like those things are easier to move here now.
Mm-hmm.
Because like that Ace Angler game that originally only came out in Japan, but now you can get it here.
Right. I get you.
It's just
So-
it's not as popular, I guess.
So what were you guys' overall thoughts on this direct? Because I know there's been some mixed feelings about it. Is this a good one? Is this a bad one? Is it somewhere in the middle? What do you think?
Oh, for me, this seems like this is how these things should be done. Plenty of surprise announcements, shadow drops, which are always exciting.
Mhm.
And then you end with your big game. Everyone's excited about it. Yeah, I think this is pretty much how you do it. I mean, to Metroid Prime Remaster to just be like, hey, it's out. That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I wish it was all 3 games for $60. But that's not Nintendo. It's Nintendo's world. We're all just living in it.
Yeah, true.
But in terms of like, and some deep cut, like remastering Baten Kaitos, that's super cool. Yeah, and it's great to see it announced here. Yeah, so I thought it was a great direct.
All right, CB.
I mean, if I had to give it a grade, C-.
Okay.
I guess he didn't think it was great.
I honestly, well, here's the thing. Like, I know what Nintendo can do. This to me, it's just like, oh look, DLC, expansion pass, remaster, DLC, remaster. I'm bored. Wow me. I know they can. I know they have the resources. But it's been so long since Nintendo's like, yeah.
Yeah, where's the next like Wonderful 101?
Yeah,
something different. Although that wasn't necessarily made by Nintendo, but
No, it's on PlayStation now.
yeah.
Yeah, yes, I know Tears of the Kingdom is coming. I've known that's going to be coming for a while. Like, if you're going to shadow drop something on me, do something that's, like, gonna, like, just blow me away.
Now, does this feel a little bit like you guys kind of like cleaning the closet out before you announce the Switch 2?
That's a really... I honestly kind of thought that it was going to be revealed at this one.
Because
No.
that's kind of the vibe I got, was we're getting the last of our stuff out.
But see,
Maybe.
this feels like every other Nintendo Direct of the past couple of years. Lots of remasters, lots of DLC announcements. Nothing. This feels more of the same.
I'm actually a little with you, CB, because as we were going through talking about this, I didn't really get too excited about the stuff on the list outside of boy, the name is
Sea of
escaping me right
Stars.
now. Sea of Stars was the one that, but outside of that, I didn't really get excited until they announced, Game Boy games are here now, and Game Boy Advance games, and Metroid Prime. You know what I'm saying? That's like,
Okay,
that's just
the-
nostalgia.
but the Game Boy games and the Game Boy Advance games, like, we all knew that was coming at some point.
We
And
assumed.
due to the fact that the Switch has been out for a while,
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Right.
Um,
But I
the
think
fact
that
we
this
got
was a...
Sega Genesis before Game Boy games.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Actually, we got
So-
Sega games on a Nintendo before there, but
So like, between
I'm not
that-
knocking it as much as you. I think that what they put out was a good mix of a little bit of stuff for everybody. But just weirdly, there's not a ton that was for me. Like I said, Sea of Stars. I kind of want to play the Kirby thing, but I just want to do that with my students or with you guys late at night. I've never played Baten Kaitos, so that might be one I'd like to jump into. But again, the issue is just no time to play those long RPGs.
So yeah, it's funny coming off of us all praising Dead Space, which is just a game of nostalgia.
That's true.
And complaining about it, but to me, like there's not a lot of stuff on this list I want to play, but I thought the cadence of the direct and the way they unrolled things, I thought was great.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, because there's one thing Nintendo does. It's the pace of their directs are great. Like get in, get out, give you the information, move along.
Here's the games. Yeah.
My biggest problem is there's just so much. Like I said, DLCs, expansion passes, remasters. Nintendo used to be the pinnacle for like, we have our exclusive titles. We're going to wow you.
Or we're trying something weird that doesn't feel like it's going to work, but it's going to work. You know what I mean? They were innovators. And I feel like there's not as much innovation going on.
It feels to me that Nintendo has rested upon their laurels long enough. It's
working. They don't have to.
I know, but Nintendo's always they've always prided themselves in being like, we're going to be innovators. We're going to do something crazy. We're going to try something.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest time, it's just like, okay, since the launch of the Switch, it's felt like Nintendo's just kind of like this. They've just plateaued. Like, I'm waiting for something for them to be like, hey, Switch 2's coming out. Guess what? No controllers. It's beamed directly into your brain. Like,
I'll bet you that'll come about the same time as the Mario movie is released. That announcement will be made with a new Mario game that you'll have to have the Switch 2 in order to be able to play.
Obviously the Switch 2 announcement is going to be a trailer during the Mario game.
Yeah. Mario movie, you mean?
Yeah, the Mario movie. But for me, like, I'm
interesting.
I'm waiting for Nintendo's like next big, like, holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that I don't agree that they'll announce the Switch around the Mario movie.
You don't think so?
No.
Why?
It also doesn't. Well, each Mario game makes more money than that movie's gonna make. So like, why do they need the marketing push from the movie?
Well,
That's a good question.
It's just a perfect time to do it.
I guess. I just don't agree, I guess.
Well, my point is that would be a good time to do that if you're going to release a new console that you're going to have to own in order to be able to play the new Mario game. It's going to soften that blow with the Mario movie releasing at the same time.
When's the movie coming out?
It's like the first or second week of April.
Oh, that feels a little soon.
I mean, I was expecting it this week.
Yeah,
when they announced the price increase of Breath of the Wild to $70, I was like, that sounds like.
I expect they will get Tears of the Kingdom out before they start talking next gen.
But that's like every Nintendo Direct. Every Nintendo Direct of like the past 2 years. I feel like people, are we finally going to announce the Switch Pro or the Switch 2 or?
Yeah, but there's something else you're also not considering. Breath of the Wild 2 or Tears of the Kingdom is coming out. You remember Breath of the Wild was also on the Wii U, was also on the last console generation. So it would make sense to have.
You're banking the entirety of them launching a new console on a Zelda title.
I think Nintendo could have more success by getting Tears of the Kingdom out on Switch and then announcing the Switch 2 and Tears of the Kingdom port, because then everyone's going to buy it.
That feels more like a Nintendo maneuver.
That's what I'm saying. That would be a perfect opportunity to do that, because that comes out in May. Right. And then they have a new console that comes out around Christmas that you can also purchase another copy of Tears of the Kingdom for this new console. I think
they would shoot themselves in the foot over that.
I don't think Nintendo can make any mistake at this point. Like they can.
Gamers have no conviction at all.
Yeah,
no,
especially when it comes to Nintendo.
I mean, the Wii U didn't exactly sell stellar.
No, but Cyberpunk came out broken and sold 12 million copies. Gamers have no restraint.
Yeah. Well, let's see what the community thought real quick. We had some comments over on Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Zach, why don't you kick things off over on Facebook? Because I know you love that website.
Yeah, the one I've never been on. Bill Gardner writes, some good nostalgia for sure, but not sure what's happening because nothing really got me excited. I buy the new Nintendo games but rarely play them unless my 7-year-old wants to play together. I'm glad they still appeal to a lot of people, but I think I'm just done with these games until Nintendo upgrades their hardware. I think that's a fascinating perspective, Bill, coming off of the fact that Switch just outsold PlayStation 4.
Interesting. CB?
Yeah. Andrew Jack. It's really exciting to me because I grew up with Game Boy. I still have my original gray one. Me too, buddy. I hope they keep adding to the classic library. Do you think they would put the Pokemon games in there? That would be great because I missed out on them. Let me get Pokemon trading card game.
It would be nice to put the real Pokemon games on there. That way,
dude, it's never going to happen.
The secondhand market can calm the hell down a little bit.
I feel like if they were to put those on there, they would actually charge for those. They're not going to put those on Nintendo Switch Online. They'll be, here's the Pokemon collection that you can buy for $60.
Here's another tier of Nintendo Switch Online.
That maybe even that, yeah.
But I think it would sell like gangbusters if you put red, blue, yellow, gold.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, but for some reason they won't do it.
You know what they should do? Release them and charge $40 a pop.
They'd still sell.
They would.
Actually, they would release them, but give you the ability to transfer your Pokemon from like red and blue to the next one, to the next one,
right,
to the next
just restart the cycle all over again.
Because you still have to be one of the weird people like me that has Pokemon Box to move from the advanced games forward.
Yeah.
Next comment comes from Sean Coates. He says, well, first of all, the prospect of this Direct is special some ways, as this is the first Nintendo Direct for me since finally owning a Switch. There were some announcements that piqued my interest: Metroid Prime Remaster, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games coming to Switch Online, and a random Tron visual novel. But overall, this felt like other Directs in the past. My personal taste versus Nintendo's creative output couldn't be further apart these days. Being out of the Nintendo loop for so long now, I barely recognize the company I grew up with. Most of the games or game updates that were announced I've never heard of before. Sometimes when watching these Nintendo Directs, I feel like an old man watching a young pop star on TV and saying, who?
That's actually a really good point, because a lot of the games that Nintendo puts out anymore, it almost feels like towards the end of the Wii when it was just nothing but shovelware.
Mm-hmm.
But granted, there's going to be somebody out there who's like, yeah, fashion designer.
There's nothing as bad as like M&M Kart Racer happening yet.
Yeah,
it feels like it's getting close, man.
And it does feel like they're relying a little on their older catalog, but so is everyone. You know, I feel like every other game that we're excited for is a remaster or a remake.
Well, because everything gets delayed and pushed back.
The things I was most excited for off this list were games that I've already played.
Right. And what game are we all looking forward to the most right now? Resident Evil 4.
Yep. Yeah. Something to be said there. So
we're all trapped in our own cycles.
Yeah. Maybe you. Right. I'm excited for other things.
All right, the collective we. Jason Knitter writes in, the new Fantasy Life has me excited. I still enjoy playing that on 3DS. I mean, I've heard good stuff about Fantasy Life, but it's not for me, dog.
I don't even remember what it is, honestly. Is it like a Sims or?
It's a Fantasy Life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a sim. You get to live a fantasy life.
Moving over to Discord, we have Edwin Smith. For me, this was an extremely good Nintendo Direct. Not only did we get a remaster of Metroid Prime that also launched the same day, we got the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance emulators. I can't wait for the Pokemon trading card game and Golden Sun to release on there. I am really excited for the new Fantasy Life game that got announced. I loved the one that was on the 3DS. I still go back and play it from time to time. I forgot about Golden Sun. I mean,
everybody is most stoked about these old games coming back.
Well, no, I'm not disagreeing with that, because it's been for Game Boy.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying I feel kind of guilty. Like I thought when I first watched this, like, this is a really great direct. This is stuff I wanted, but the stuff I wanted, I already have. You know what I mean? I'm not excited about something brand new they're doing.
Because again, like I said, they're not doing anything to wow us. It's just like, it's some old crap. Buy it again.
They're wowing us with nostalgia.
That's
Tim,
that's what everyone does.
Yeah. I mean, it works.
Remember these good times you used to have when you were young and carefree. Now
we're
you're
all
old
hypocritical, though, man. Like, we all have to complain about, stop with the remasters, stop with the remasters, unless it's Dead Space. Right. Unless it's Metroid Prime. Like, you know, we keep saying it, but we keep buying it.
But see, that's the thing. Like, Metroid Prime does nothing for me.
Right.
Yeah.
For you.
At all. But Dead Space, awesome. But I'm done.
Well, when they announce Fallout 3 Remastered, you're going to be all over it.
More than likely.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
Don't tease me. Don't pull at my heartstrings like that.
I just the thought of like seeing that with like really good looking visuals and just going through
seeing Three Dog and modern graphics.
Oh man, that would be so amazing.
All you need to do is Fallout 3 with Fallout 4 visuals.
See, look at us going, getting sloppy all over the idea.
No.
Of Fallout,
Actually,
Fallout
no.
3.
Let's correct that.
I want better.
Give me New Vegas with Fallout 4 visuals.
Give me New Vegas that works all the time, and I'm in.
Yeah. And I want to go play Fallout again. Tim Thane says, this was a good one, even though most of it wasn't for me. It was good to see Pikmin 4. My wife loved the third one, and any new game that gets her excited to play makes me happy because she doesn't play a lot of games. I'm excited to see the Game Boy announcements, even though I played most of those games already either on the DS or Wii U Virtual Console. One game I've never gotten to play, though, is the original Metroid 2, so I might check that out. Zelda looks great, obviously, but it still wasn't anything major. I just hope we have dungeons again, man. The big one for me, though, was Metroid Prime. I completely skipped the GameCube, so I never got to play the Primes. Here's hoping they're working on 2 and 3 too before 4 comes out in 10 years. Yeah. I don't know. With Prime getting a remastered, I feel like this was them wetting our whistle for 4.
No.
They could do one Metroid Prime remaster a year as they build up to it.
They could, but that's a long
every
development
year and a
cycle.
half.
That's true. Yeah, Metroid 2, man, it's a Game Boy game, so the controls are a little, Game Boy-ish, but that's a solid game.
The Return of Samus, right?
Mm-hmm. That was where she got the spider ball. That was so cool when I was a kid. Like, I could go everywhere now. Like, that just was amazing. So. All right, I think we have one more, Zach.
Mark Szymanski writes, well, at least Nintendo still cares about the story. A lot of it wasn't for me either, like Tim before me, but Nintendo continues to offer something for everybody. The Dead Cells Castlevania was definitely a highlight, but like most Nintendo Directs, I find myself wishing that I liked RPGs more. Those games are beautiful, and the stories look interesting.
I love that Mark is a roguelike guy now. He hated roguelikes, and then he just started getting into them, and now he loves them.
So we got to do the same thing with him in RPGs.
Apparently, got to give him a good RPG.
I would love for Nintendo to give me another 1-2 Switch.
That I had fun with that game for 15 minutes.
Dude, that night we were up at Stoy's house, I had a blast with that.
We did, but I mean, it's just like a one and done. I don't have a need to do that anymore unless I'm introducing it to somebody that's never played it. You know what I mean?
I guess I just want some good mini games, man.
Yeah, let's get the Kirby one.
Yeah. We can.
We never played it. Did you play it on Wii?
No. I bought a Wii after the Wii ended.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, Zach, thank you for the topic idea. That was a lot of fun to recap that. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Next week's topic is still yet to be determined, so stay tuned to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. We will post next week's topic as soon as possible. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. The episode is produced by Kevin Honigford, and all of our music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website is stemagemusic.com, STEMAGE music.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Zach, any parting words or recommendations for everybody before we are done for the night?
Well, all the Metroid talk makes me think of the great Alana Pierce, video game writer, and her famous question. It's something worth pondering. If Samus is pregnant and go morph ball mode, What happened to baby? So think about that for a while.
What happens to her body anyway?
She goes Sonic the Hedgehog.
It's one of those things that we've just kind of accepted over the years, and just goes with it. I guess
she gets shrunken down like
Turns
the
into a
atom.
Pokemon.
Is that what it is?
The Pokeball.
Yep.
Yo, so all been in the same universe the whole time. We never knew.
Yeah.
That's why we never see Earth in the Metroid series. It's just a Pokemon hellscape. They finally have revolted.
CB, how about you?
Samus is a Pokemon?
Oh my God.
She can be my pet.
Oh, weird.
CB, how about you?
Two quick things. For those of you who don't know, Mountain Dew Pitch Black is back. It's delicious.
Whoa, word?
Dude, you didn't know?
Oh my God. I'm going to the convenience store after this.
Dude, it's back. It's great. Same.
I can't tell if you guys are being facetious or not.
I'm being dead
Oh,
serious.
dude,
I
I'm
love
serious.
Mountain
Like,
Pitch Black.
I went out and bought 2 cases.
Is it Pitch Black 1 or 2?
It's Pitch Black 2.
Yeah, the sour one? Sour grape?
It's still
Buddy,
great, man.
Dude, you just changed my life for the next few weeks.
Dude, I'm so glad. Like,
Oh my God.
dude,
I love
I was
Pitch
like
Black.
hoping you would notice. I'm like,
Yeah.
Mountain Dew Pitch Black, still drinking.
love it.
I don't think
But
I've ever had it.
Oh, dude, it's great Mountain Dew, man.
It'll change your life.
It's great. Also, for those who don't know, I am a huge fan of Lego. There's a Lego
Hadn't heard.
Rivendell set coming out.
$500.
Oh, dude, can't wait.
That's almost a VR2.
I was going to
I
say
know.
he canceled his VR2.
Yeah, he had to
pre-order.
make the money. He had to set aside the money for Rivendell.
I'm not gonna lie, that may have actually happened.
Yeah, I think that's a wiser purchase.
Yeah, I
Personally,
thought
yeah.
so too. So, hence the reason there's less Funko Pops behind me as well.
You sold them?
I trimmed it down, like it was getting a little ridiculous.
Okay.
Man,
I
just
did
in time
notice-
they had those Return of the Jedi 30th anniversary or whatever ones now. Did you see those?
Yeah, I saw those too.
It was like a big Jabba the Hutt one.
Yep, big
I
Jabba
don't
the Hutt.
understand. I don't get pops. I really don't.
Oh, also, Zach, there's the Commander Cody helmet coming for Lego.
Oh yeah.
Commander Cody
That was-
and
I thought it was
Rex.
Curdy.
Huh?
I thought it was Curdy
Commander Cody?
from Star Wars.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Cody.
This whole time I thought it was Curdy, like
I can't tell
Kurdy.
if you're being facetious. or not.
No, I'm being serious. I thought it was Curdy, Captain Curdy.
Is Ewan McGregor's British accent too much? You couldn't
Maybe.
figure out
Captain
what
Curdy.
he's saying?
Maybe that's what it is. I just
Oh,
in my
that's
head.
awesome.
No. Captain Curdy.
Speaking of Star Wars,
Yeah. Speaking of Star Wars, I took Zach's advice and started listening to the. Is it Old Republic? Is it the
High
series?
Republic.
High
High Republic. I am reading Light of the Jedi. I
Correct.
reached the first prologue, so I don't want to really spoil what happens, but a pretty massive event takes place involving an object that they have to stop. I don't know how long it's been, but
I know exactly what you're talking about because I just finished the entire High Republic series.
did you? That moment was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. They jump around quite a bit in this book, like going.
it's a very fast-paced book.
And it's hard to keep track of the characters' names. Like there is, and then characters are gone all of a sudden, and
That's where you're kind of at a disadvantage with an audiobook, I feel like.
yeah, because you
'Cause when you're
can't see the
seeing-
names. Yeah.
Yeah, when you see the word, it's easier to remember it.
Yeah, I actually was thinking that when I was listening yesterday. I was driving back from Omaha and listened to an audiobook. which
Just
is an
wait till you get to
interesting
like
experience.
the 3rd or 4th book and they switch the narrator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
The
one of
narrator in
guys-
this book is fantastic.
Oh yeah, dude,
Okay.
he's great.
Oh, interesting.
But he
You don't like
switches,
him?
and the guy
No, no,
says one of the characters' names completely different than the other one, and it just like it broke my brain for a bit.
Is it Mark Thompson in Light of the Jedi?
Yeah,
Don't remember off the top of my head,
Oh,
but
he's probably done like 100 Star Wars audiobooks. That's why I asked.
but yeah,
he's so good, and they do that. They like have ambient noises and stuff mixed in with the narrative.
Yeah. Star Wars
Which
is
is-
good for that.
So you get a lot of lightsaber noises and blasters and warning alarms and what are they called, klaxons or something like that.
Because there's a couple High Republic stories that are audio only. They're audio dramas,
Oh, nice.
which is interesting.
I don't know. It's cool. The only like recognizable name that I've heard mentioned is Yoda, who's still around at this point. Yeah, he's not that old now. This is like 1,000 years before all of that, wasn't it?
No, it's 200.
150. Yeah, 150.
Oh, so he's still up there, but yeah.
Well, depending on there's one of the books that's like even before Light of the Jedi.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I haven't read that one yet.
Also, Avar Kriss is just a really freaking cool Star Wars name, even though it's like a simple name. It's
Elzar
just
man.
that's a
Dude,
pretty good one too.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't like Elzar in that first book, but at the end of the High Republic, I was like, I think Elzar might be my favorite dude.
Oh, dude, I love Elzar.
Is he the one with the tentacles?
No, he's just a regular dude. Actually, Bell is my
Bell
favorite
Zettifar?
character. Yeah, he's my favorite. He's got a little char hound. Oh, dude, Bell Zettifar's cool.
The
And
guy that you're talking about, he's a Twi'lek. He's Bell Zettifar's mentor. Yeah, master.
are you talking about Loden Greatstorm?
That's a badass name.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Those books are great. I just love the Jedi in those books. In case anybody is not aware, is just I like that they're not as dogmatic as they are in the prequels. They allow room for error, and if somebody accidentally lets the dark side flow through them, or maybe they make a questionable decision by banging somebody, you're not always. It's not like you're just kicked out of the Jedi Order or ostracized. They understand that mistakes happen, and they work through it. It really does feel like the high era of the Republic.
Oh yeah.
Plus, they're not all like enormously nice. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I mean, not
Yeah,
that
they feel
Mace
like people.
Windu is
It's
nice,
cool.
but they're just people that have flaws.
Well,
Um,
I love
I
I agree with that, but I also love the fact that they go into one of the more less well-known paths of the Jedi, the Wayfinders.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't got that far yet, so
When you get there, you'll love it.
okay. So yeah, the High Republic book series, Light of the Jedi. If you like Star Wars, it's Star Wars, but without nary a Skywalker to be seen.
I would just
So-
say if you're tired of the Disney era Star Wars, how everyone has something to do with everybody else, this is free of that.
So I highly recommend that. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much, Zach. And thank you so much, CB, for being here. It's been a pleasure as always. Zach, thanks for hopping on a little bit earlier so that we could go watch some football tonight as well.
For your silly little football game.
Yeah. Until next week, I'm Sky Clark with Zach Parkerson and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.